There's human beings that have different temperament and different minds and different mentality and a ruthless competitive drive that's almost terrifying to the ordinary person.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh.
Me, Josh Allen, all day, every day. I'm not worried about it. When I look in his eyes before every game, there's not.
Remember who we have!
They take away his right arm. They take away his left arm.
If we were living 1,000 years ago, he would be on a horse with the biggest battle axe, waiting in the back, hacking heads off.
He will take their head.
That there's a thing inside some people that is a driving force that allows them to overcome the greatest around them.
It felt like last year there was a concerted effort to save that a little bit.
And
right.
Those people have always existed. Right. These dominators have always existed.
I think it's time to break glass now. Let's roll. Remember who we have. So again, we have Josh Allen. Anytime is good time.
Yeah. And then when it's late in the year, we can pull it.
Let's roll, big fella. Anytime is good time. Remember who we have. Golly!
Buffalo Fanatics, game time, game day. Look, the big game, or is it? Is it? You know, Week 18 against the Patriots is one of those games that's very, very interesting. It's a game that win or lose, there's pros and cons on both sides, right? But it's definitely one of those things where, if it happens, it happens. As far as a loss, right? If it happens, it happens. The Patriots will no longer have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. If we win, we go into the playoffs with some momentum. Of course, that's always a good thing, but it's one of those live streams today where it's me and you guys today, right? It kind of feels like it's going to be one of those, preseason type games where there's going to be a lot of talk about. But first off, huge shout out to everyone who's tuned in right now. Make sure you guys, smash the like, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to that 30,000 by the Super Bowl, which would be awesome. Coach Reese, we in the building. What's going on, Coach? Koala, my man. What's up, man? So listen, first off, we got to, we need some score predictions. How many shots are we taking today? For those that don't know, we take a shot for every Bills touchdown. I'm thinking, man, it really all depends on how long Josh Allen plays. If Josh Allen doesn't play, I think he might play the whole series, if anything. So I'm actually interested to see, what Mike White brings to the table. I think we already know what Mitch brings to the table, so who knows? But Sweat, what's going on, big fella? I'm going to need my shots. You already know, man. Carbon. 4 shots. What's going on, Carbon? Dre, that boy. What up, big fella? Man, we need to win, and I want to sweep the East. I mean, I can take that too. Sweeping the East would be massive. But again, there's pros and cons, right? I also don't want the Patriots to have the number 1 pick. Yeah. So it's like, it right here. Koala says, we tying today. You see, I'm fine with a tie. Low key. But yeah, man, huge shout out to you guys, man. Let's see if the game is on right now. So, hold on, let me see. I guess it just comes down to, what do you guys think? How long is Josh Allen going to play? You know, me personally, I think it's going to be for one series, if that. You know, Dante says 2 shots today. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those, you know, low-scoring type, you know, performances. I mean, we are playing a division rival at the end of the day, right? So, you know, these games are normally close in general. So that's kind of where I'm at. What's going on, Heather? Hey, King. It's shot time from Heather in Texas. You know who we got for sure. What's going on? You know, Patriots still got to pick the right guy. I mean, it's Travis Hunter, in my opinion, right? It got to be Travis Hunter. You know, Mario says 1 series. Sweat says 1 quarter. I mean, if he plays the whole quarter, I mean, that'll be insane, low key. You know, but I'll take it. You know, you had we have the MVP talk, right? The MVP talk, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, right? A lot of talk is who is more worthy. I thought about something this morning. Do MVPs normally have to play the full game in Week 18? Wouldn't you think if you have a quarterback who is in the conversation and he plays the entire Week 18, was he really the most valuable? Wouldn't you think the most valuable would be the one that doesn't have to play in Week 18? Huh? You had to get all your stats in Week 18? Nah. We good on this side. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel about it. Josh Allen hasn't played in the fourth quarter in what, like 3 or 4 games. Now, he's about to sit an entire game and still win it. Man, I'm good, man. I'm good.
It's a great time of year if you're a football fan and your team
Also,
is playing
Josh,
next week.
Yeah. All right.
Some of the teams,
That's a good point.
Not so much
right?
a great time of
That's
year.
kind of how I feel about it. You know, Cody says the one who won the division 6 weeks ago. Exactly. Everyone say, oh, yeah, you know, they're playing for the division last night. Yeah, because he had to. You lost too many games. So that's kind of where I'm at. What's going on, Cassandra? Hey, fam, happy Sunday. Fun day. Respect to you, Cassandra. I'm resting the lucky hoodie this week, ready for the playoffs. My man Phil, for sure. Trubisky about to get 400 yards? Man, that would be insane. That would be insane.
Get us started here.
All right, let's roll.
Foxborough, 2 franchises, 2 teams that certainly know each other awfully well.
Yes, sir.
So many memorable
You know,
games
name
that they have
the
locked
quarterbacks
in
that
on
have
over the
had
years.
more than 40 touchdowns and 4,000
13-3,
5 years in a
tied
row.
franchise record with
I'll start with
13 wins.
MVP
They've done it
Allen.
for the 5th time in their franchise history.
Listen, man, you know, huge shout out to Lamar Jackson for having the 4,000
before it gets for real as we
yards
go
passing with
downstairs, say hi to
8,000, I
Edie
mean,
Kikabala.
800 yards rushing.
We'll see a little bit of
That's
Drake
pretty
May.
dope.
We'll see even less of Josh
That's
Allen,
nice.
but he will get the start. It's
That's
important
nice.
to the Bills that he keeps
Congratulations.
his starting streak alive. We'll also see a little bit of James Cook. The Bills want to try to get him the 2
Yo,
rushing touchdowns. That
Andreesen.
would set
I
a
like that.
franchise
It's going to be
record.
interesting to see how he
Miller
balls
is
out.
going
Because,
to try
again,
to get a
every time he
seven-figure
gets playing
payday
time, he
with
balls
the
out.
sack out here. I talked to Miller about it.
Every time.
He said when an organization
Even this year when he
looks out
came
for its
in,
players
I
like
think
this,
it was for,
shows how much they care.
you know,
He
like
said
an
when
injury, I believe.
organization cares like that, it's
Balled out.
only a good sign.
So that'll be interesting.
We've heard the flip side.
Vadish, what up, my man?
Right with the positive vibes you're looking for in the locker room. You take care of your players in this kind of moment. And we'll see if Von Miller is able to get to that number. So here's Drake May. Arch, again, as you said at the top, hasn't been perfect for him. But, boy, with everything else around him crumbling this year, this kid has been incredible.
Well, look, you and I have seen a lot of young quarterbacks. We've seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks. And it's always a growing process. But, you know, from game one, he gets into
All right,
the
let's
offense, and you see that he has all the different intangibles that it
Damn,
takes
already.
to be the franchise guy. I cannot wait to see him in the future.
False start, number 64, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Layden Robinson. So a lot of their starting regulars will start this game along the offensive line, but then we are expecting to see some of the backups
All
get
right.
a chance as we take
Let's see
a
what's
look at
going on in
D-lineman
chat.
Robinson, the man who was just penalized.
I had May on
All-Star
fantasy. He
only
was
his
okay.
second career start at center. Got his first last
Yo,
one.
Laura, I swear you and fantasy football, I love it, man.
This game for New England.
I want to see exactly.
Fourth highest completion percentage over a season by a rookie.
I might have to hit you up and get some pointers. Sheesh.
Who makes the start today? No Hunter Henry.
Yo, Radar says, yo, the question this week is who do we want?
Buffalo defense.
Oh, Radar, that's a solid question. Who do we want in that playoff spot against us? Yeah, that's going to be a conversation that we're going to be having all. I mean, well, all day, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a preseason feel here.
But if I'm being honest, I don't want to see them Bengals. I'm just being real. I don't want to see them Bengals.
They take the ball away and gives their offense more opportunities.
There it is. Von got his money. Go ahead, Von. Von got his money. He's out. Did it early, too.
That's going to get him $1.5 million.
Yes,
right
sir.
There. Needed one sack to hit that number. And boy, he didn't waste any time.
Didn't waste any time.
Dog.
And look, if you're going to go for, a sack
Go
incentive,
ahead.
I think this is the football team to do it. The tackles here, both left and right tackle for the Patriots, have given up a lot of pressures and sacks this season.
Boy, you think Sean McDermott's happy?
Yes.
Oh, Laura says, I lost, Pierre. Sheesh. It's all good. 1.5 million on that sack right there. Huge shout out.
Celebratory handshakes down on that sideline. So here comes Allen.
Look at Allen. Big old smile.
Very important to Allen, and really for all the right reasons. A guy who's
He's throwing a bomb on the first play. That's what he's about to do. He's throwing a bomb on the first play. A play action bomb. Let's roll. I'm predicting it now.
It's interesting. He said not only is the streak important, but he thinks it's important to be able to show that he can play through pain. He takes a lot of pride in being able to play through pain, and you could see it in the way he plays in his play style.
Credited the
here it is.
Staff around him, all the support staff people. He's very quick to deflect the praise and the credit that he has gotten on what has been just a truly fantastic season. And,
oh, yeah.
James Cook.
How many? Oh, that's it? One play? Yo, so how many yards does Cook have to get to his 1,000? I think it was like maybe 40 yards, I want to say. It's probably even lower than that.
Allen has grown very close to over the course of the season in what is Trubisky's second season in the NFL with this Buffalo franchise. Quick trigger release here. Curtis Samuel back in the Buffalo lineup today.
All right, so it looks like we have the backup O-line.
Shoulder injury, so good sign to get him back.
All right.
As they start to
Samuel playing. Cook is out there. Who else is out there?
Pieces along that offensive line, all their regulars out, including their left tackle and All-Pro Deion Dawkins.
Matt Collins. Okay. All right. I mean, we got a couple players out there.
Is here with
and Keon Coleman out there too.
On the keeper.
That's solid.
Like the Bills are a little bit short of the line to gain.
You go for it. Oh, 19 yards for Cook. Okay.
Sean McDermott.
So yeah, they're probably going to wait for him to get that,
looks like he's
and then take that out.
Why not? Here in Week 18.
They've got the second best fourth down offense in the National Football League. Of course, that's with one of the best sneak quarterbacks and an offensive line, but
it's been one of the best fourth down offenses in the league in a number of years.
He didn't get it.
And I don't know if he got it here. Another quarterback keeper,
and it was a fumble.
Short. Gotta get this crowd fired up a little bit in Foxborough. Trying to generate some excitement. So Drake May and the Patriots offense back.
Hey, Chad, to be honest, I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. And I know you guys might be looking at me funny after I say what I say, but it's all smiles today. Win or lose, we're good. We're good. So it's not going to be one of them games where it's, oh, man, we can't look like this before we get into the playoffs because, we're going to be playing playoff teams. And we good. We good. Yeah, Cody says, we going to lose. Yeah, hey, man. Vidis. Yeah, man, mentioned already. What up, Dr. DC? He says Cook also needs a touchdown for a team record. Ooh, interesting. That's solid. I like it, man. What up, Circle of the Wagons? And people wonder why we sneak Josh instead of whatever that was. Facts. Let's see. Laura. Yeah, we're going to be the 2 seed regardless. Again, and that's where I'm at. I would rather, and I know it sounds wild, but I would rather want the Patriots to win this game. I low-key want them to win. I'm just being 1,000% honest, right? The last thing we want to do is give a division rival high draft capital. Now, are you guys a fan of the whole, draft order type thing? Where the worst team, gets that first pick? Or would you rather want to have something like what the NBA does? Have like, a lottery or, something like that. Or, because there's pros and cons of it. There's definitely pros and cons. Dr. Spaghetti says, we didn't get the first. Sell the team. Yo, man, you tripping, big bro. What's going on? Oh, up right here, Sean. What's going on, Sean? If we lose, we still win because Pat's missed. Exactly. That's where I'm at. It's a win-win today. It's a win-win. Isn't a loss actually better for Allen's MVP odds? Means it's not the team. It's ooh. I like that angle, S. I like that angle. That makes sense. Ooh, I didn't even think of it that way. I really do like that. I do like that. Yes, sir. That was a little embarrassing, but that also shows how lucky we are to have Josh Wick. For sure, man. Dragon says a lottery would be fun. It would, right? It's definitely one of those things where it's like, it's just weird how it plays out. It's like if we know, okay, all we got to do is just lose this game and get the first overall pick, I'm losing. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to try to figure out a way to, right? But if it's a lottery, it's like, hey, you're going to try to win every week regardless. Even if you're losing, it doesn't necessarily matter. I don't know. But it would be wild if a lottery had it to where the Super Bowl team had a top 5 pick. Or like, something wild like that would happen. Who knows? But Ryan says, yeah, man, this feels like a preseason game. I agree, man.
Play most of the game, then you start to hear some of the
There's a reason why
we shouldn't put the
I don't stream during the preseason. You know what I'm saying? It just hit different, man. You're like, okay, touchdown. Good job. Right?
Problem
All right, let's go.
Patriots to have. Again, you have your guy for the future. And it'd be malpractice to let Drake May or Josh Allen play in this game.
Good pass there over the middle by Milton. As they're going to complete to Gibson over the middle of the field. Line to gain is the Buffalo 33, so they're going to be a couple of yards short. But you can imagine, Milton knew he was going to play today, but there's something different when you strap it on and get out there at this level for the first time in your career. As they get ready
Eric
for a
says,
3rd and 3.
I would not want to depend on ping pong balls. I feel you with that too, man.
Starters for the Buffalo. But I was thinking about that last
Donnie.
down and Von Miller with the sack.
I know if we beat Baltimore, I know we can go into KC.
Is there something out there?
We're gonna put our heads together. Douglas has another catch. So 2 catches, 2 first downs. You didn't have any good incentive stories in your career?
What's up, Mason?
It's not as
will him not playing affect his chances of MVP because Lamar had a couple touchdowns? Listen,
there was like 15 different categories.
Here's where I'm at when it comes down to MVP race. To me, it's simple. It's not the analytics and this. He has that. Doesn't matter. All that stuff doesn't matter. We have Josh Allen has 3 losses, Lamar has 5. Period, point blank, done. That's it. That's it. Everything else is irrelevant.
Get our crack staff on that. Gibson running right.
The only way Lamar, should win, for example, is if he put up ridiculous numbers, 5,000 yards, 50 plus, something wild like that. He didn't do that. You got 5 losses. You had to play the entire Week 18.
Alex Van Pelt, you consider his work with the rookie quarterback.
We good on this side.
It's left
it's
so
simple.
Many questions for this team. How do they build around this kid May? Handoff here to Gibson.
Now, I will say this. Something happened in this game that we kind of have to be mindful of. It's something that it might get glossed over, right? But I want you guys to hear it from me first.
Well, they've suffered.
Von Miller has had a sack 2 games in a row. He started this game off early with a sack. He ended last game with a sack. Is he back? Because we know how he was the first 4 weeks of the season. Imagine Von Miller being back right on time. It took him a few games to get his ass back. It could be he's back. That's massive. Massive.
And right now,
So,
Mayo keeping his offense on the
happy
field.
about that for sure.
Tell you what, that's impressive.
Dre, me personally, you can't be MVP losing the worst team, the Browns and the Raiders. That ends the discussion right there. I mean, who knows, man?
Officials trying to get to the bottom of that pylon.
Cody, he's alive. My man Von Miller is alive. So. If Von is back, I'm trying to tell you, this is 2 weeks in a row. Bang, bang.
Good protection up front. So far, so good for Milton.
Yep,
I'll take it.
Outside rushers, and then he just steps up and doesn't panic, finds his read, gets it out, and throws the ball accurately. Really a nice start here for Milton.
So Milton, 4 of his
But
first
he
4,
says, yo, man, Von was on juice starting the year. Yo, Von was on something else to start the season. It's like, yo, what you on? What you on, big fella?
And that clock running now inside is 7 minutes left.
Yo, Robert May of The Athletic has said he will vote for Josh MVP due to the difficulty of passes made.
Here's some good news for Atlanta Falcons fans. Atlanta's actually leading 3-0 in their game versus the Panthers. This is Blake Grupe with a 35-yard field goal. Saints taking the early lead in this one, 3-0. Back to the crew in New England.
I mean, the MVP talk is pretty exhausting, if we're being honest. It's pretty exhausting. Wait, hold on. Is that a fumble recovery? Only because Josh Allen should win for the same reasons why Lamar won last year. Like, it's the same conversation that was happening last year. Josh had all the stats, but Lamar had the record. That's why he won. He had a better record. You got it. This year, it's flipped. So it's like, it's the same thing. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
First snaps as an NFL quarterback. 3rd and 4, working here from the gun. Goes underneath to the check. This is Gibson.
You know what I mean?
The initial tackle, and he's
still snap.
Going. And he's got some assistance. A convoy trying to push him into the end zone. Let's see where the officials mark the football.
You see, there's one. If you want to give, Lamar Jackson the Offensive Player of the Year, I'm not complaining.
Gibson has been so lethal, Arch, in his career as a pass catcher out of the backfield.
Yeah,
but definitely not MVP.
Out, early in this game, a little quick tempo here.
Milton on the take. Gets him a little bit closer. But
definitely not MVP. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, but what stands out is just the protection that he's getting. But again, you're looking at a Buffalo defense.
Well, co-MVP, get out of here, dog. If they give co-MVP, that'll be whack. Who won the last co-MVP? Was it Peyton Manning and Donovan McNabb? That one year they both won it? Like, come on. There's no co-MVP over here. If they do that, that'll be insane.
2nd and goal. Read option, Milton. A Sunday walk in the park.
That'll be insane.
Boy, game opening drive for him, career opening drive in the touchdown celebration.
Yo, circle the wagons. Yo, man, Pats fans watching as their team loses. Yo, I'm sitting here laughing. Go ahead. You can score all the points you want to score, big fella. You can do all the flips you want to. Congratulations. You played yourself. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Hey, congratulations. You played yourself.
51 yards in his first NFL drive as a quarterback. Point after by Joey Sly is perfect. And the Patriots get us our first points here in Week 18.
All right, where we at? Yo, Sean said, how can Lamar get a Hall of Fame running back and be MVP and Josh lost guys and does better than anyone thought? I mean, listen, man. Again, the conversation is exhausting. It's exhausting. Right? Because it's like, we're bringing up stats. We're bringing up stats all the damn time. And last year, it was never no stats being brought up last year, even though Josh had all the stats. So, but it was Peyton and McNair? I think you're right. You sure? I'm almost positive it was McNabb. But, I mean, you could be right. You could be right. Yeah, Williams says, yeah, no, I think it was McNair and Peyton. Okay. It was Peyton and Steve McNair. Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. All right, let's see. All right, hold on. What up, Melissa? When they come off a bye, who do they play? Yeah, man, I don't know what the hell's going on in that conversation. All right, let's see right here. Dre's like, yo, man, seeing both teams try to do the quarterback sneak and it not work just shows how good. Yo, I was thinking the same thing, Dre. That is facts right there for sure. Ty say, I hope Josh loses the MVP and then has that fire to go nuts in the playoffs. Now, I mean, I think we won't know who wins until, like a week before the Super Bowl? So, I mean, he's not going to know until the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Yeah, Eric, the only stat they brought up was turnovers, not this year. Right? Right. That's amazing. You rarely hear turnovers now, right? But if Josh had turnovers, look, turnovers is the reason why. I'm telling you, it's the damn goalpost every damn time. Yo, Zach, why is Joe Milton low-key looking better than Drake May? I mean, hey. Now, if you are the Patriots, let's have some fun right here. If you're the Patriots, what would you do? If you had the first pick in the draft, what would you do? Would you say, you know what, I don't know about Drake May, I don't know about Joe Milton. I'm going to go ahead and try to get, Shedeur Sanders or, Cam Ward? Or would they say, you know what, let's go ahead and, draft a running back at number 1 in Gentry? Imagine that. Or let's go ahead and get the damn unicorn and Travis Hunter. Interesting. But, hey, we good on this side, though. That's it. That's the beauty. Sweat says, yo, to get a kicker. That's what the hell I would do if I was him. Sheesh. Yeah, Koala says, if I'm the Patriots, I'm getting Hunter. He's too good to pass up. They need playmakers for sure, man. William says, I'll trade if I'm the Pats. I was thinking about that too. I mean, trading actually won't be that bad.
To see who Sean McDermott's team will face
But
next week.
I guess it comes down to how far you trading down.
Denver wins against a Kansas City team, Arch, it's going to rest most of their starters. It will be Buffalo, Denver next week in Western New York.
Yeah, that would be a fun matchup. And
Now, yes. Let's talk playoffs for a quick second. If Denver wins, we're playing Denver. If Denver loses and the Dolphins win, we're playing the Dolphins. If they both lose, we're playing the Bengals.
Is probably going to keep Joe Burrow in Cincinnati at home. I would love to see in the first round
the Broncos playing the Chiefs, who are resting a ton of their starters. So it's looking like the Broncos should win that game.
If the Chargers beat
the Dolphins are playing the Jets, who they should be able to beat the Jets. I mean, I would think. I think.
What a matchup that would be. But you're right about
you know, Tyler Huntley is starting for the Dolphins at quarterback. Right, so that'll be interesting. Let's go, Mitch. Huh.
Pitch and completes over the middle. It's Mac Hollins. So Trubisky, good-looking pass over the middle to get the Bills.
I just don't want to see the Bengals. I really don't. I know their defense is what it is. Their defense really isn't that good. Now, our defense isn't really that good either, right? And Burrow's playing like, man, he's playing lights out. If the Bengals record wasn't as bad as what it was, Burrow MVP.
The backs involved, the backups, the tight ends, all the different receivers. On any given play, somebody has a chance to contribute and make a play in this offense.
Hey, chat, if I'm being honest, I understand why they're playing Cook. I know they're trying to get him that damn 1,000, but I'm not a fan of Cook being out there with the backup O-line. I'm not a fan of that.
He said it's because he doesn't have to force feed the ball to anybody. He doesn't have to constantly think about making sure one person gets his touches. Offensive
oh wow, hold on, chat.
This wide receiver room
hold on, chat.
The hell? Just like Arch said.
Yeah, it's a different offense. Of course, you had Stephon Diggs here, a guy who is demanding of the football.
Let me go ahead and fix it real quick. Let me see where we're at.
With this offense, Hollins another snatch and a first down completion. And now flag is thrown. We'll check the marker here. It's behind the line of scrimmage.
Hold on, chat.
It's a 14-yard completion if it stands.
Personal foul, roughing the pass.
Let me see if I can fix the damn screen. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see where we're at.
That's the veteran Dietrich Wise, part of one Super Bowl team here with the Patriots. And that's going to push Buffalo a little bit further
there we
down
go.
the field.
I'm back.
Going back to that last play.
You know, OBS be tripping sometimes. My bad. Are we back?
What we've been talking about. You know, I've been watching him since he was with the Raiders and the Dolphins. And
yo, Ty says, yo, Holland want that money. Yo, he was excited as hell.
Always been there to make the right play at the right time for whoever has been playing quarterback, and he leads the Bills
let's
with
go.
5 touchdowns this season. So getting major contributions from every different part of this offense.
Pitch play here.
Good job,
Cook. Yeah, Hollins joining this Buffalo team at free agency before the season. What an addition he's been. And what was their motto before the year? Everybody eats.
Everybody eats, yeah.
Yo,
they have tied an NFL record with 13 different players who've caught a touchdown. They've got a chance to break that today, and that's a big deal. Yeah. Everyone we've spoken to around this Bills team.
Floyd Darkness, everyone. Darkness.
So here's the question.
Yo.
Who do you prioritize, trying to get Cook his touchdown or get the 14th receiver the football? We don't see the fullback Gilliam on the field. I think he would be the one guy that they tried to target, but they want to get Cook his touchdown.
It's dealer's choice. You want to get your.
Yo, I'm such a big fan of James Cook. I know I've been saying it damn near every single week this season. I'm such a fan of this dude, man. And it's mainly because of his power. That's one thing that I think is underrated. We look at his size and we just think, you know, he's not that strong. We need a power back. We need a man. Look, He had 1,000 yards on only 200 rushing attempts. How dope is that? And he's able to get those tough yards. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Ooh, this is a solid question. If Cook breaks the records, do we re-sign him? I think we have to re-sign him. I really, really do. Like, he's done all the things. Now, an argument could be made that a Ray Davis and a Ty Johnson could just be able to carry the load. You know, Cook is going to be, he's going to demand too much money. Or is he? Right? Is he? But, I mean, we haven't had a running back like a James Cook since who? I mean, I'll probably say that Cook is a better running back on this team than LaShawn McCoy. Right? Because how many negative yards did Shady have for us? And listen, I'm a fan of Shady, but that was the one knock I had on Shady. He be trying to do way too much in the backfield and end up having ton of drives killed because he's trying to dance too much back there and get negative yards. Cook almost never has, gets negative yards. That's number one. Number two, he can easily take it to the house. I know Shady can too. But Cook has been our best running back, in my opinion, since who? Chat. Since who? Let's take out Shady for a second. That's an easy one. Since who? Let me see.
You're in good hands.
Since who? I'm trying to think. Yeah, Eric. That's my guy right. Travis Henry, in my opinion. I think it goes OJ, of course. You got to put OJ up there. OJ, Thurman.
What a performance arch in that game by Josh Allen.
And then Travis. Like, Travis is one of my favorites of all time. Beast mode? I mean, he wasn't really that guy here.
If I remember correctly. And he was lights out.
All right. Let's go, Cook. Ooh.
Trubisky. This is Reggie Gilliam. And that's going to be a first down.
I'm going OJ, Thurman, and Travis.
A couple of seconds ago, Aditi hanging out with Gerard.
And then it goes, maybe Fred, for example, Shady, Cook. Who else?
Defense right here. What do you need them to do to bow up?
Hey, we're in the red area. It's a 4-point plays coming up, and just got to do a good job.
Yeah, Tony was like, yeah, Mac earned his $50K incentive. Everybody getting paid today. Sheesh.
With those headlines, as his team finish here in Week 18. First and goal Bills.
All right, let's go.
Second quarterback of the day already. Josh Allen taking just one snap before he gives it away here to Trubisky.
Yeah, they're really trying to get Cook the ball. That damn touchdown. All right, so Koala says OJ, Thurman, Fred.
There haven't been a lot of great moments.
Then Henry, Cook, Lynch.
Defense, but when I watch them play,
I mean, you got to put Shady in there. I mean, Shady, he has to be a top 5, only because he played for us for what, 3 seasons. I mean, he was the actual drought breaker. I mean, we was giving Tyrod a lot of love last week about it, but it was really, Shady was the main reason why we made that thing, to be honest. Yo, they're trying hard as hell to get Cook that damn touchdown.
But with the injuries, Some of their
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, I don't know, man.
long absence of Christian Barmore.
I think they like, look, man, hurry up and get the touchdown so we can get you the hell up out of here. Ooh, Donnie says Willis McGahee, if he didn't get hurt his knee, hurt his knee, he would have been, he would have been awesome. Now, that was extremely risky, us drafting his ass, though. I mean, looking back, we took a major risk.
No Christian Gonzalez today. Again, no Jabril Peppers. Trubisky getting one out. But Mac Hollins is ripped down.
I'll go for it. I will not kick a field goal. I'd go for it.
The guy stepping into that spot vacated by Gonzalez.
I'd go for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Nice job and really a tough coverage to play when you're playing outside leverage and your receiver runs across the field away from you with no help in the middle of the field. So really nice job by Dial, keeping his eyes disciplined, staying with his coverage, and making the play.
Last time they went for fourth down, they came up short.
Ooh, I'd put James Cook in there instead. Oh, got him.
Faking, wide open.
Shot time. Okay. Damn, it was easy.
So Trubisky orchestrates a 13-play drive, and he takes him down the field 75 yards.
Damn. All righty.
Spero, you see the Bills do this a lot. They play, it's called 4 strong. They put 4 eligible receivers.
That's wild how wide open that was.
The running back all to one side. And it's one of the toughest formations to cover for a defense that likes to play man-to-man. No eye discipline, easy touchdown for Mitchell Trubisky.
Tyler Bass, the 5th-year kicker for Sean McDermott, right down the middle.
How are we feeling,
He's
chat?
going to get us tied here.
Yeah, Donnie says Kenneth Davis was great. He was really fast. You know who was also nice? What was his name? Antoine? What the hell was his name? Antoine something. I was a big fan of his ass too. Let's see. Yeah, right here, Rod. Antoine Smith. Antoine Smith was nice for sure. All right, here we go. Enoch says OJ, Thurman, Shady, Beast Mode, Willis McGahee, Travis Henry, CJ Spiller. Yo, I can't put Beast Mode in there, man. I just can't. Even though I was a massive fan of Beast Mode, he just didn't play enough. And he didn't really do a lot here. I mean, he had a couple runs. I remember that one run against the Bengals that he had. You know, but he didn't really do too much. You know, for him to be top 5. I don't know. Let's see here. All right, right here. Thomas, OJ, McCoy, Beast Mode. Let me see. Right here. Oh, no. I did that one already. OJ, Thurman, McGahee, solid. But I'm going Cook over McGahee already. In 2 seasons with Cook, he's shown more than a lot of running backs we've had. I'll go Cook over Shady, honestly. Let's see. He said Winfield. Nah. That's the cornerback. Yeah. Antoine Smith for sure. Let me see. Ooh. Chris the Stairs. Give me not fat Carlos Williams. Yo. Carlos, my God. What if he's probably the biggest what-if Bills player we've had. If there was a what-if player, what if it worked out? Who's on the list? Who's on the what-if list? What if it would have worked out? I mean, Carlos Williams, what if? Because he was nice. He was big, what, 6'4" or 6 something crazy. You know, big as hell because he, ended up being, super big. He was like 6 something, 230, 240. He's like a Brandon Jacobs type. Just a beast. Yo, Chris. Good call right there, big fella. Good call. All right. So he says, all right, top 5 backs in Bills history, O.J. Thurman, Cribbs. Ooh, Cribbs, okay. Jackson, Shady. All right. Yeah, Koala says, what about fullbacks, though? Nah, chill.
Belichick or Parcells across
We're
the
not doing
National
fullbacks.
Football League.
We're not doing fullbacks.
And how they put everything together.
All right, let me
so this
see.
is uncharted territory.
Hercules. C.J. Spiller, if used correctly, would have been crazy. Yo, tell Rico that. Rico's the biggest C.J. Spiller hater. Like, man, C.J. Spiller with Chan Gailey? Yo, special.
He's the guy now who's pushing the buttons here alongside the Crafts.
Oh, nice job.
Jonathan, as Kendrick Bourne making the catch.
I was a huge fan of CJ. Huge fan.
As they pick up 9, and this is Wolf's back.
Yo, Carlos.
He has the
crazy,
with his pop, but he is highly thought
all right, so Mario says it's CJ Spiller as far as that what if Chan Gailey never got fired? All because of Dave Wanstead's bum-ass defense. That's why he got fired, because we had the last ranked defense in the league.
When the Texans hired DeMeco Ryans, and I remember,
I think that year we had like a top 5 offense and the worst defense.
They got Stroud, they got Will Anderson, they got Tangdell.
Just imagine.
They got some big pieces that were immediate contributors and big-time pieces.
Matt Ariza, punt god. Ooh,
again,
right?
Got it right with Drake May in this last year's draft.
How crazy that whole story was,
this
man.
Next draft coming
How
up
crazy that whole
has
story
to be
was.
An unbelievable. One of the
He should
best
definitely be a
drafts
Bill for sure.
that New England has ever had.
Yeah, Cassandra says, okay, so Marshawn is definitely a what if. I mean, facts. If we're being honest, facts.
Ball start, number 59, offense.
You know, but
5-yard penalty, third down.
Beast Mode was like, nah, I'm out of here, man. Buffalo, yeah, nah, I ain't trying to be in Buffalo.
Sunday, some playing for the postseason, others playing for draft selection.
Ooh.
Here's Damian Pierce. Watch how he pierces his way through the defense and runs it in 92 yards for the TD. The Texans would miss the extra point. They were up 13-0.
Now, let me see here.
All right, NFL draft implications there. But again,
All right, so my man said, can you imagine a Marquise Goodwin with Josh?
Number 1 overall pick in the draft. Joe Milton firing on a comebacker, and it's a completion.
I mean, that could have been interesting.
Another Patriots first down.
I don't know, man. I wasn't the biggest, Goodwin fan. I just felt like he really only did one thing.
I agree with you. I think he's really doing a nice job in the pocket.
You know?
The ball is coming out with great timing. Look at when this ball arrives. As soon as
I
he
like
gets
this
out,
one. Sammy
and
Watkins.
you see that
Sammy
Ingram has no chance
Golly.
to close on that football, put in a
You
great
listen,
spot.
you talking about a fan of a player. I was such a fan of Sammy Watkins, man. You put Sammy Watkins with Josh Allen, I would have been intrigued to see what could have been. What could have been?
Back to Milton, as Gerard Mayo told us, you just look at him. He's got all the physical
Cody
traits.
says the biggest what if is
And,
Mac
the
over
question is, how
Watkins.
quickly can he put it together as they see him now
Yo.
in the game for the first time?
Well, the hope is, let's be honest, you don't really see him much.
That is so true. That is so true.
That means Drake May is as healthy and available, and for Patriots fans, hopefully he's just like Josh Allen looking for his 115th consecutive start.
Milton again, booty wide open. It's a 48-yard strike. And Joe Milton having a good old time in his NFL debut.
Yeah,
And
Milton
Archie
baller.
still hasn't missed. 10
Milton's
of
better
10
than
for a
yeah, 10 of
buck
10.
19 and a touchdown.
Yeah, right here.
Eric
and then
Smith,
he's gonna
Eric
adjust,
Woods
but
would have
I got my
dominated
eyes
with
on the
Josh Allen.
safety, to the top of the
All right.
screen right here. He just he sees
I'm gonna start it
Milton
off.
outside
I'm
the
gonna start it
pocket
off.
and doesn't have any awareness.
Who is,
of a wide open, wide
let's say,
receiver.
within
How's that for a big play, keeping your eyes up?
since the year 2000? Let's just say it like that. You know, since after the Super Bowl years.
Perfect game so far in this first half.
Who's probably
And working
the
against
most
most
underrated
backups from this Buffalo
Bills
defense,
player
but tell you what, he's looking
in that
impressive
span? The most underrated.
so far.
A player that even Bills fans hardly ever bring up as far as being one of, if not the best at that position. In my opinion, is Eric Moulds. Till this day, I think Eric Moulds is the best wide receiver the Bills ever had. I'm just being honest. Better than Andre Reed, James Lofton, better than all the greats we've ever had. He's number one. Better than Diggs, better than everybody. He just never had a quarterback. He never had a quarterback. Ever. And as soon as he had a snippet of an above average quarterback in Drew Bledsoe, he goes crazy. Eric Moulds, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver the Bills ever had. Yo, Moulds is a boss. Moulds was amazing. Rick says Lee Evans is definitely underrated. Nah, he is. He is. For sure. For sure. Stevie Johnson. Yo, underrated for sure. For sure. Aaron Schobel was solid. Dog. Yeah, Koala says Aaron Schobel, Jarius Byrd. McKelvin, I don't know about him being necessarily underrated. I mean, he was okay. Byrd was nice. Byrd was definitely solid for sure. And Schobel. Peerless Price. Yo, Richie, I have a love-hate relationship with Peerless Price. I say it all the time. Whenever I see his name or I hear his name, I always have a negative thought first. I was pissed when he wanted to leave. We had Eric Moulds and Peerless Price. If that duo would have stayed with Drew Bledsoe, but no, he thought, his head got big. He had that one season, where he did his thing and he felt, you know what? I want to get the money and I'm out. I think he ends up going to the Falcons, I want to say, and we never heard from him since. He was never relevant since, right? So I'm more mad at Peerless than anything, but he was solid when he played for us for sure. Yeah, Bennett Mould stats were crazy. And just imagine if he actually had a viable quarterback. Sheesh. Joshua says Roscoe Parrish. Man, Roscoe Parrish? Roscoe Parrish. I mean, he was okay. Nah, Roscoe Parrish. Yo, but I need an explanation, Josh, as to why he's the most underrated Bill. Yeah, Eric Mould was the perfect wide receiver. Size, speed, hands, route, he had everything. He had it all. Okay, Eric Woods in today's NFL, who is he? Who is he? I'll say that Eric Moulds is probably cut from, wait, hold on. Let me get these boys their points real quick. For those that don't know or haven't seen Eric Moulds was
part of bringing Trubisky back was because of his relationship.
He was like a Julio Jones, just like a
quarterback happy.
Yeah, and Sean
a
McDermott,
slightly shorter Julio Jones.
Trubisky played some of his best career football in that first stint here. As we get the run here by Ray Davis. The way that
Let me see.
Meshed, and as Sean said, look, you want that number 2 to
A.J. Brown. Exactly. Oh, I like that. Eric Moulds was a faster A.J. Brown.
Commitment to be there as a support guy for.
So just imagine that. Just imagine that. That's who he was. I mean, I don't know about Calvin Johnson. I mean, Calvin Johnson was just a whole different breed.
Because their starter goes down, but certainly that relationship
DK
and having a great
yes
quarterback room is
yes
one of the bigger factors
so
in deciding
he was a
who
beast.
that backup is.
Trubisky, as they go a little misdirection, trying to get Davis in motion. Davis.
Yeah, so it looks like James Cook is not going to get his touchdown record.
Games around the league. Another NFL Today update to New York.
Yeah.
All right, Bryce Young
says, yo, if you don't know Modes, stop now and watch highlights. Yo, peace. All right, so Ty says McKelvin used to get cooked often. Yeah, man. I don't know about McKelvin before. All right. Worst one is Kelvin Benjamin. All right. So who is the most overrated Buffalo Bills player since 2000? Overrated. Overrated.
Taking on all comers as he gets into this
overrated.
It's a run of 23 yards, and all of this offense coming under the
I got to think about that one for a little bit.
Joe Brady, first full season.
Overrated.
OC, of course, took over last year after the team fired Ken Dorsey.
Marcel Darius. What, as far as being overrated?
Yeah, what really has stood out, and just
God,
think about
man.
it, when you got a quarterback like
As soon as he got paid, it was over. Most overrated, Rob Johnson.
It's really
Facts.
the run game for the Buffalo Bills. They're third in rush efficiency. And they average 28 rushing attempts per game. That's 8th in the National Football League. So they have built a two-dimensional offense here in Buffalo.
Was Spencer Brown's overrated?
So good.
Damn. Edmonds, overrated. Facts. Overrated for sure. Mario Williams, overrated? I don't know. I don't know.
With the offense under Dorsey,
I don't know.
Kind of gone away from that a little bit too much, but as you just alluded to,
Jerry Hughes, overrated?
Game, everything Josh Allen does, you need that balance, and it's just kept defenses really on their heels.
Well,
I mean,
we talked to Allen,
I can see that.
Look,
I can definitely see that for sure.
Covering Allen since his rookie season. It's funny the evolution
Exactly.
of his play. It used to be stack the box.
Yeah, Jerry Hughes
beat you
wasn't
with
all
his
that
arm.
with sacks.
Now he's seeing a lot more keep the safeties back and trying to.
I mean, Aaron Maben was just a bust,
And when
low key.
defenses do that, well, if you have a run game behind an offensive line like this, in a combination with Cook and what Allen brings to the table rushing the football.
Yeah, Cody says, yeah, man, Spencer Brown is way overrated.
As a defensive coordinator.
He's Mr. Yellow Flag.
First and 20, so they get 6
Richie
of those
Incognito.
yards back. But Joe Brady, he's got the William and Mary connection to Sean McDermott, both of their alma maters.
Stephon
Brady got
Gilmore.
cut his teeth under Sean
Interesting.
Payton for a couple of
What's
years
going
as
on,
an
Junkyard?
offensive assistant down in New Orleans. There's a
Sheesh.
offensive play caller at LSU. With incredible national championship.
Brew Crew.
Joe Burrow,
What up, big fella?
receiver stars.
Oh.
Man who has really come of age.
Oh.
This is the pass. Trubisky putting
Got him.
under it.
Go ahead, Keon.
Incomplete. Keon Coleman.
Oh, what?
Just running out of real estate on that sideline.
Show it again. Let's see.
A nice job by Alex Austin to pin Coleman close to the sideline, and
Yeah.
boy, almost makes it. 27 catches, 525 yards.
Yo, Keon is he's going to be a solid ass wide receiver for us, in my opinion.
Not a bad contributor to the offense for the rookie.
Boy, it took us almost 20 minutes of game.
Dan Cody says most overrated is Josh Allen before 2020.
At the 5:26 mark of the second quarter. 3rd and 14.
Yo, man, sheesh.
Trubisky over the middle. And that is caught.
I'd go for it. I wouldn't kick no field goals today. I'll go for everything.
The starters don't count today.
There we go.
As,
Nah.
picks up 7 here. That's going to be 4th
I'd
down,
go for
and
everything.
Sean McDermott's going to try for a field goal.
I mean, CJ was pretty overrated, low-key. Even though I was a fan, I mean, for where he was drafted and what he really, really brought to the table, I mean, it was what it was. Nate says Gilmore is a bum. I don't know about all that. I mean, he did win Defensive Player of the Year.
The excitement level in Western New York is reaching a fever pitch
So,
as they wait to see who they're going to face next
you know
week.
what I mean?
In the wild card, Tyler
I wouldn't necessarily say he was overrated. I mean, for a Bill,
gets a little bit closer.
I mean, I can see why, as a Bill, he was probably overrated a little bit. You know, we drafted him high, and I don't know. I mean, I was a fan of Gilmore for sure. Yeah, he said for sure. I mean, Gilmore was better everywhere but here. Yeah, I mean, that is true. That definitely is true. Isaiah says, that's Cap. He just had to be refined and get help. Yeah, who knows, man? Koala says, yo, remember Thad Lewis at quarterback? Thad Lewis. Dog, the amount of quarterbacks we had, man. Even a JP Losman was overrated. Wow. Whoa. That's probably the number one overrated build we had. The hype around that dude, man, was insane. And it's crazy because that was the Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers draft. And then we got the fourth guy in JP Losman. Like the odds. We literally had 3 Hall of Fame, quarterbacks go right before us. JP Losman. Sheesh. Here's a what if. Trent Williams before his head injury against Arizona. Oh, man. That's a fact. Yeah, Bennett says, yeah, Sammy Watkins was for real. Everyone thought he was that guy. For sure. Yeah, B Troop says, E.J. Manuel, Trent Edwards, and Rob Johnson. E.J. Manuel. Listen, I'm real big on mental. I'm real big on person's mental. I understand that success in general, it's all mental. It's a pure mental game that we all, fight every single day. Right? I used to always be a fan that, was never a fan of saying, oh, no, we shouldn't really play a player because we don't want to, mess up his confidence. Right? We shouldn't start a quarterback early because it might hurt his confidence. I was never a fan of that because I always said, if your confidence is affected, you shouldn't even be playing. And when EJ admitted after he left and after he retired, or I think he was on the Eric Wood podcast years ago, I'll never forget this, where he mentioned that his confidence was shot early and he just wasn't able to get it back. I was like, I knew it, man. He was in his head. The entire time he was here. Doug Marrone did not like EJ Manuel for anything. But it was a fact that it was a pure mental thing when it came down to EJ. And he was never able to get back. Ever. So, yeah, man. Kevin Cobb. Sheesh.
Has gotten back to the day-to-day, the week-to-week of this is my career. He's back to what his real dream is.
It's been just amazing to watch that young man put it all back together. First, just to get back on a football field, Arch. Obviously was fighting for his life initially. Had to get himself physically right. Then the question was, could he play? Answered that, and now he's become a frontline piece for Sean McDermott's defense.
Yeah, and they've had to retool. This is a much different.
Ooh, James Hardy is a huge what if.
Here in the last few seasons with Poyer and Hyde and.
Yo, man, shout out to James Hardy, man. Rest in peace,
Taylor
man.
Rapp have been the starting safeties here. He missed a couple games with the rib injury.
Definitely a what if for
week
sure.
15. But he's done a nice job in that back end.
Boy, what a pass as Hooper makes another catch.
Hey, Chad,
And Milton
I'm going to go to the
continues
restroom real quick. Give me 1
what
second.
has been a really impressive NFL debut so far. He's now 11 of 11 for 139 yards and a touchdown. Arch, what are you seeing from Joe Milton so far?
I think he's sharp. He's playing with great timing. His offensive line doing a really nice job up front and protecting him, but making the right reads. And the knock on him coming out of school was that he had to work on his accuracy. Well, I mean, today, you really haven't seen him misfire one ball.
So again, Milton began his collegiate career at Michigan, first 3 years there with the Wolverines. He only started 5 games over those 3 years. And then his last couple at Tennessee, last 3 years, where he was the full-time starting quarterback for the Volunteers. Only last year, he threw for over 2,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, and what was a really impressive.
I mean, Joe Milton's low-key got him.
Milton.
Ooh.
Boy, somehow evades the sack, the presence of mind, a hard fake, and then the presence of mind to throw it out of bounds. It was Solomon, Arch, who was coming from the blind side. And how about
Eric
some of
says
that
Doug
pocket
Whaley was
presence
good
from
in my
rookie
opinion.
Milton?
Bad coaches.
It's been excellent.
Eric, we actually have a lot of things in common before. You know what I mean? The way that we think is very similar. I personally think that Doug Whaley gets a bad rap. He gets a bad rap. Now, again, it's on him to be able to get a quarterback. But an argument can be made, he was never really able to get one. He was never really able to get his guy.
So that was actually Milton's first incompletion of the day, 3rd and 11.
You know, when he came in, or he was the assistant GM to Buddy Nix. You know, Buddy was like, I want EJ. So he's all right. Boom. And then that his first year, he becomes the GM with EJ Manuel. You kind of have to see what happens with EJ. You know, you kind of have to see, right? And then we get a whole new ownership group, and the owners want to get their guy.
We've seen
right?
start to make some changes now with his offensive line.
And then here comes Tyrod, right? It was Tyrod. All right, whatever. You know, Doug Marrone or whoever it was, he wanted Tyrod. Fine, right? Then after that, he's like, all right, I want Mahomes. He want Mahomes. And then here comes Sean McDermott. Nah, I kind of want to go with, Tyrod, so let's wait a year. Fine. Right? It's like, dog. Doug Marrone, as far as the talent we had on the roster, all we needed was a quarterback. And again, I know it ultimately falls on the person who, is picking the players. Fine. But, man, I was a big fan of Doug Whaley, man. Big fan. What if Percy Harvin? Ooh, Percy Harvin. What a talent he was. What a damn talent. Sheesh. Cyrus Kouandjio. Yo, what about Cyrus Kouandjio? Dog. He was trash. Cyrus. The hype around him was insane. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, man, I totally agree. He had to deal with some shitty office politics trying to facts. It was like he was never really able to do his thing. It felt like. We had to have Rex Ryan, right? So we had to go to a 3-4. He had to pick for 3-4. Then we get Doug Marrone. We had to switch the whole defense now to a 4-3. right? So we got to do, okay, fine, right? It was just unbelievable, unbelievable. Cardale Jones. Yo, man, Cardale Jones. Cardale Jones. Yeah, Koala says, yo, I tell you who's trash, Mike Williams at tackle. Oh, he was a big-ass dude, too, man. 6'9", something crazy? 6? Dog, Mike Williams. Like, wasn't he like the 4th overall pick or something crazy like that? Like, insane. Insane. Reggie Ragland. Fucking Reggie Ragland.
Almost anything for game day.
Isaiah Hodgins.
Back with you for the final 2
I
minutes.
mean, he fell off. He fell off the map. I mean, he went to the Giants, and everyone thought, dog, hey man, we missed one.
Easy decision here for Gerard.
I mean, I think is he even in the league anymore? Who knows, man? Cody, what if before Diggs I thought Foster and Smokey Brown was going to be legit?
Trying to angle this one inside the 10.
Facts, man.
Takes that nice little Patriots hop inside the
I mean, I thought John Brown was legit low key. I mean, Robert Foster, I mean, that was always, one of those, is he going to actually, be more consistent, which it just never really panned out. I think John Brown was pretty solid for us. I think he gave us all he could. But huge shout out to them for sure. Zoomer. Imagine McDermott with the cold front defense. Yo, the cold front defense is arguably the best defense we've had since the damn Super Bowl years. The cold front in 2014, I think it was. Dog, amazing. 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 And that's Doug Whaley, by the way, but amazing. Amazing. Paul Posluszny. Paul. I mean, he was okay. Kiko Alonso. Yo, Kiko. Hype around that, his first season was insane. And then, boom, he just fell off the map. That's wild, man. yo, man, Terrence, man, boys, y'all going back. I mean, that's what happens when we're watching a day in preseason game. It's like, dog, we might as well just have a conversation at this point, right? We might as well just, reminisce on the old times at this point. TJ Graham. Remember, he was a speed guy that was the fastest on the team. Trash and good and couldn't catch. TJ Graham. Unbelievable. Preston Brown. Dog, man, we had some talent, and then we also had some guys where it's like, dog, why did we even attempt this? Crazy. Ed Wang. Okay, all right, chill. All right, now we going all the way down the depth chart at this point. Okay, you know what? I guess it wasn't too bad. We traded Kiko for Shady, so maybe he wasn't that overrated, right? Because we were able to get, Shady, who helped us, break the drought. So, and what a trade that was! What a finesse that was! Doug Whaley finessed that damn trade for sure. What's going on, DeJuan? He says, even though, Spiller didn't work out, he was my favorite player when I was in middle school. Yeah, man. He definitely had a lot of splash plays for sure.
This game, they would leapfrog back into that top overall spot. Tennessee right now losing to
All right,
Houston. The Giants are losing.
Let's watch this game for a little bit. Let's watch this game. Oh, entering today.
Which of those teams will be in the market
Browns,
for quarterback? We see the Giants and
Patriots.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, right now that does
That's
not make Patriots fans feel very good about the direction this game is going.
There's a run for a first down that time by Johnson. If New England wins this game, they could go from one and fall down a couple of notches. And I think you're right. I don't think there's much confliction if you're a Patriots fan when you consider all the holes that this franchise has to fill. And we know you're pretty much set at quarterback, Arch, as Johnson is tackled right at the line of scrimmage. But you have that top pick. You hold the cards going into the drafts where the wheeling and dealing is expected to be heavy.
Yeah, moving forward right
That
now,
is fact.
if you're
You
a fan
definitely
of
with the number one overall pick.
Patriots, you have a couple things to look forward to. You've got Drake May. You've got a lot of cap space. And
I really never understood the fans who wanted to win games when you were out of the playoff hunt. As soon as we're mathematically out of it, I was always a fan that I want to lose all the games from here on out. There's no benefit of us winning at this point. Right? And one of the major reasons as to why we had a 17-year drought was the thought process of let's try to win these games, right? We were always, between the 6 to 8 win every single year. We were never going to be able to get a high pick because we were always average the entire time. Where I was, listen, at some point, we have to pick high in the draft. At some point, we got to pick in the top 2, top 3. So, listen, I've always been lose if we can't get in. Just lose.
His pass play the season, the 69-yarder to their practice squad call up Tyrell Shavers in that game. And looking for some late half points here. Looks like they're going to have the first down run with Ray Davis. And that clock running with Buffalo holding 2 timeouts.
Yeah, Koala. Yeah, we were always 6-10, 7-9, 8-8 every year. It's like, come on. We got to be 2-14 or something crazy like that. Like, come on already.
Hasn't happened since 93. That was the draft that they went and got Drew Bledsoe.
All right, timeout.
As Keon Coleman makes the catch. And that clock running. Looks like we're going to get another timeout here.
Oh, I was furious.
Before halftime.
That damn purgatory was real.
So Sean
it was
McDermott
real,
takes
man.
His first charge timeout. Trubisky now 12 of 13.
Donnie says Emmanuel Sanders said Mahomes made him retire. He said that 13-second game turned him off football. But Sanders was good. Not facts. He was definitely solid. Floyd said, all right, last one. Ashton, you booty. Yo, Floyd, man. All right. Enough is enough, big fella. You going all the way down the damn depth chart at this point. Yo, the worst. Okay, all right. Who was the worst player? Or, all right. I got to figure out a way to ask this question. Who was the player that you hated the most? Like a player that was just bad, but he got so much playing time, and over and over again, he just never did his job. Or you felt like he never did his job. I'll go ahead and start off. You remember the cornerback that we had? James Rodgers or Rodgers? James Rodgers or Justin Rodgers or something crazy. Rodgers. That quarterback was horrible. They found Pickerman. Yo, Nate Peterman. Sheesh. Yeah, my man says Elam. That's what the hell I hate. Shit. Sheesh. Reggie Corner. For sure. And Trent Murphy. Aaron Maben. Hamlin. Damn. Chill. Drew Bledsoe? Facts. Yeah, mine was Justin Rogers, man. Golly, he was trash. Marshall says, Balen Spector. Golly. Isaiah said, yeah, it's Popeye Biscuit away from tight end. Yo, Kelvin Benjamin, man, I was such a fan of his ass. I thought he was going to be a player. I think that was Brandon Bean's first trade, I want to say, right?
Just extreme gratitude.
What could have been?
Have a little end of the year party last night. Arch, I thought your speech was just tremendous.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope somebody recorded it. I could put it on my reel.
Well, it was great to spend some time with everyone, and thank you to
Leotis McKelvin
for everything you guys have done.
1,000% always drop picks.
A lot of time away from
Terrence
families,
McGee,
and
he couldn't cover a bed. I don't know, man. I like Terrence McGee. Terrence McGee was solid. He was solid. But nah, I feel you.
Most enjoyable season.
Damn, Terrence hated Terrence? Oh, Terrence. Terrence on Terrence crime. That ain't good before.
Yeah, it's going to be Archer go into hibernation mode here, as he always does for a couple
Darius,
of months.
for sure, man.
Well, that definitely
He got paid and then fell off the planet. Facts, man. He had that Albert Hainsworth syndrome.
I also want to give
for
thanks
sure.
to my guys up here in the booth, Russ Lynn, our statistician extraordinaire.
Ooh, Cody Ford.
Gavo, my spotter.
Sheesh.
On his pronunciation for the last couple of years. Did I hit that, Savino? All right, I got the thumbs up. Hollins in motion. Final 30 seconds of the half. Trubisky climbs the pocket. Trubisky's going to tuck it away, run for it out of bounds. They'll get them in a little bit more prime position here as Trubisky
Who else we
runs
got?
for 8. That'll stop the clock. 23 seconds. Arch, they still have that one timeout in their back
Yeah,
pocket.
Fred. Yeah, man. McKelvin always pissed me off. Sheesh.
11 yards rushing. He's close to being in the positive for rushing.
That's right. It was another big objective for him.
Yes, all those kneel downs and
he was not pleased about that.
No.
Negative rushing yards for Trubisky on the season. And,
All right, come on, Mitch.
He gets $1 million incentive.
Let's see what we got.
So this will be the 9th play of the drive. 2nd and 8. Trubisky from the gun. Good pressure up the middle. They get it up, set up.
Horrible
for the
throw.
Screen, but Johnson is going to be buried.
I'll call timeout.
Yeoman's work just
Horrible
to get back to
throw,
the line of
Mitch.
scrimmage.
Get it there, man.
So 15 seconds. And it is going to be a third.
My man said
here for
Gabe
the
Davis
Bills.
after year 1.
So Sean
Gabe
McDermott will take
Davis,
his
man.
final timeout.
Nate Odoms. And who was the
Very
Bills
quickly,
safety that
Arch, they're gonna go
looked
from
like Kazoo
what they've been dealing with this
because he
week
wore
to
that
making
big-ass helmet.
preparations. They've already started to
And
prepare
then
for their potential,
and those two got
potential
burned
playoff
every
opponents next
freaking
week.
Super Bowl. Just dragged,
It's either going to be Denver,
but hyped up
Miami,
every
or
effing year.
Cincinnati. Likely to beat Denver, assuming the Broncos could beat Kansas City in that game. Chiefs team that's going to be resting Patrick Mahomes and basically all of their regulars.
Yeah,
I mean, the chat is saying McKelvin. Yeah, I mean, McKelvin was frustrating for sure.
Because you've got a pretty meaningful game for a lot of teams, playing against Kansas City and playing against their backups. And,
Hey, chat, I ain't gonna lie. This game sucks. This game sucks, man.
It's such a tricky part of this whole deal because, as you know better than anyone, football creatures, coaches.
Yo, Junkyard, bruh. They gave me Trent Murphy so much playing time. Or they gave Trent Murphy so much playing time, and I felt he never did anything. Facts, man. Nate Peterman. Yo, chat, man, that game, that Chargers game where Nate had, what, 5 picks and a half. That was insane. That was insane. Like, imagine his psyche in the moment. He's like, yo, I suck right now.
We had a bye, and then we got beaten double overtime by the Carolina Panthers. So, again, you think you're one of the best teams, but sometimes you never know having that break how you're going to play in that first game.
Yeah, Mitch is
Little
trash.
rainbow delivery from Trubisky.
Mitch is trash.
Ty Johnson, the intended target, and Christian Ellis was the man on the coverage. And now Buffalo.
Mitch is trash. Now, I do like that we extended Mike White. It's clear that he's going to be the guy as far as the backup going forward.
Well, it's a
I
much
can
better
respect
job
that.
in this game, and
I
again,
mean,
it's
Mitch
not the
is
same circumstances.
Mitch
They're
Mitch
last game against
Trubisky
the
is
Chargers.
the
This
most
next game is
overrated
time.
quarterback, arguably of all time.
Scheme and the execution by
Okay,
Justin
nah,
Herbert
I'm
doing a
tripping.
much better job
But
today.
Mitch, number 2 overall pick, never ended up being anything, and he's still trying to find. And we're still paying. Teams are still paying his ass top dollar. What? I think we're paying his ass $10 million a year, something crazy. And he just doesn't do anything. He's useless. Just useless. So, man, Mitch Trubisky, get out of here. All right, it's halftime. Like, come on. Well, come on. Dude sucks, man. This is unbelievable. Yo, Sean says, Nate Peterman got more chances than any player in history. That's funny. Yo, man, Peterman saw about 20 defenders that game for sure. Duh, what a game. And here's the crazy part. Yes, I was a fan of Tyrod. I was. But once I knew that there was a cap, I wanted to see what Nate, Peterman brought to the table, right? So, I vividly remember I was campaigning to have, Nate be the starter. And then as soon as he got in, I'm like, okay, we got to put Tyrod back in. Like, sheesh. Horrible, horrible performance. Your Marshall says, yo, man, the problem with Mitch is that he is now comfortable and doesn't get better or worse. I mean, he's gotten worse, in my opinion. But, again, he's like, look, man, I'm just here for the money. I'm just here for the money. Yo, Michael says, Mike White is about to go in and throw for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's a possibility, but who knows? But, chat, you guys already know it's halftime. Oh, snap. I ain't even put the damn quarter up there. It's halftime. You guys already know what's up, man. It's going to be a long second half. But I'm a big fan of the chat right now. The chat's bringing up some old memories. Some good conversations. Throw some questions in the chat, some comments in there, so when I come back, I'll definitely be able to, go over those. Make sure you guys, smash the like. And please, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to that 30,000. Let's see if we can get to at least, 50 subs by the end of the stream. That's solid, man. Right? But again, huge shout out to you guys who watched. There was some drama early in the week where some content creators were trying to call us out saying, we're just here for the money. We're here for this. We're here for that. Listen, at the end of the day, you guys know what we bring to the table. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's all love at the end of the day. All right, chat. I'll be right back. What's going on, chat? We back. We back. Hold on, real quick. Yo, I was reading this in the break. Kingpin about to pull Levante Davis on us. Yo, I'm thinking about it, big fella. Yo, I thought about it for a quick second. Like, hold up, man. Should I just go ahead and just sign off? But hey, man. But yeah, chat. So again, what's going on around the league right now? So I know as far as the Broncos game and the Dolphins game, it's going to be at 4:00, right? So that's must-watch TV. Let's see here. Isaiah says, yo, get Z-Bot and Rico up in here. I would if I could. The OBS thing is a little bit, the platform that I stream on is not the same as what they stream on, right? So it's kind of hard to bring on guests on here. But I mean, at this point, man, I'll do anything. Games like these are the worst of the worst, man, because this is like, we're just here so we don't get fined type
Milton's numbers, 12 of 30, 13 for $139 and the touchdown to Booty.
All right, so let's see what's going on around the league.
Again, we told you what's at stake for New England.
Oh, as far as what do you guys think of the Eagles not playing a Saquon Barkley? I actually thought that was a bad decision. If I was Saquon, I would have wanted that damn record. I definitely would have wanted that for sure. I mean, he was only 100 yards away.
Sean McDermott.
He was definitely getting that thing too.
Just amazing to see what he's built with this Bills franchise. As his team headed to the playoffs for the 7th time in 8 years.
All right, so we have the Falcons beating the Panthers, which who cares about that one? Dallas
under his watch.
Beating Washington.
The AFC Championship game, an incredible game in 2020.
Who else we got here?
They've lost in the divisional round each of the last 2 years.
Okay.
Everyone's asking,
damn, the Titans suck.
Is this finally the Buffalo team?
Well, look, they built a good football team here, and if you're looking at, there's a difference, obviously, between the regular season and the postseason.
Alex says BS for life. Really yo, Alex, shout out to you, big
You've been your best against the NFL's best. You beat the Chiefs, you beat the Lions, down the stretch. And so that should tell this football team that they have what it takes. Now they have to put it all together and continue the things that they were.
Yo, Kawhi talking about linebackers. I think the best linebacker we've had
continue that to the playoffs, but it's
can go to a lot of players.
Watch, and I really like watching.
I mean, to me, the best linebacker we've had since Super Bowl years, in my opinion, is London Fletcher. I think London Fletcher, man, amazing.
In mid-December, a game that they won 48-42.
That's what I'll say.
The games that give them the confidence they're going to need. Aditi with Sean McDermott in a conversation just at the end of the first half.
All right, we're seeing a bunch of guys that we may or may not need to see in the next few weeks. How do you evaluate
gosh, this game
what they've
sucks.
done so far?
Well, some good. There's really been some good play out there. We've hurt ourselves a little bit with penalties. We're getting a good look at some guys. We've got some older guys out there early, got them out of the game, and we'll see how this second half goes.
How about James Cook? Any chance that we could maybe see him get a touchdown or two?
We'll see. I'd like to, that's for sure, but we got to be smart here. Can't put his health in jeopardy here.
You did make Von Miller happy.
I think so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he was quite pleased. Von Miller got that early sack. That's $1.5 million incentive bonus that he's going to be
Von Miller. Von Miller, like, yes, sir. Got him.
The third quarter. So Buffalo 13-3 as they play on this final Sunday of the season. Last week clinched the number 2 seed with that lopsided win over the Jets. Crowned as AFC East champs for a 5th consecutive year. As we take a look at their first half possessions, those 2 middle scoring drives orchestrated by Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky fires far side, and it's incomplete.
I mean, why is Trubisky still in the game, man? I would have. I want to see Mike White and see what the hell he's doing.
Today by Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, seventh-round pick from last year out of Oregon State. Really, we've seen him a couple times. I remember watching.
Yo, chat, man. Huge shout out to you guys, man, who tuning in, man.
Really
I'm checking the chat right now.
In that game, again, this secondary has been up and down this
It's
season.
definitely one of those games where people are like, look, I really don't care about this damn. All right. But again, man, huge shout out to you guys, man.
But a really nice play right there from Alex Austin.
Trubisky puts some air under it and completes. Good looking pass as he locates Keon Coleman coming across the middle of the field.
I do like that Coleman is playing the majority of this game. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that. You know, get his ass some reps so he can be ready for these playoffs. And even Samuel. I like it.
Yeah, one of the pieces now, you know, he's a big receiver, a big X receiver, 6'4", 215 pounds. Missing games again. I think he's had a pretty solid.
Let's try to get his stats up there a little bit. You know,
overly impressive
I like
numbers,
it.
27
I like it.
catches, over 500 yards. But again, it's that big average down the field, the big play element that he brings to this offense.
Ray Davis run out of bounds. You just think of how much the Amari Cooper acquisition, Arch, changed this offense. Of course, having to make up for the loss of Stephon Diggs.
Bill says, yeah, it's Spider-Man tally in my opinion. Well, yeah. I mean, the Super Bowl years, I mean, you can make an argument that all those dudes were the best in Bill's history. You know, but post-Super Bowl years, I mean, we've had a lot. We've had, what, a London Fletcher.
Just because of his ability to be able to beat
the Keo Spikes was pretty solid for us.
To not only get the ball to him, but to give it to other players and open things up for the offense.
You know, Paul Paz was pretty solid for us. Who else? You know, Kiko Alonso.
A bit about the Buffalo Bills and the way they spread it around to a lot of
trying to
different
think.
receivers. And I think
who else did we have that was pretty solid?
A lot of coaches would love to be able to do that,
but I mean, Fletcher and his impact and what he did
be able to down in,
was
down
amazing.
Out, be able to read the defense, find the right matchups, process what's happening, and to find all of these different receivers. So in theory,
Koala
it's
says,
a great idea, but there's not a lot of quarterbacks that really have the ability.
You know, should Tasker be a Hall of Famer?
Execute it, spreading it around to so many different players.
Josh Allen, that MVP conversation that has been rapid of late over the last couple of weeks. Trubisky from his knees, basically.
I don't know. I don't know.
To Ray Davis, who's tackled there behind the line.
I mean, if he makes it good, if not, all right. I mean, I can kind of see why he's not in the Hall of Fame. But
look at the turnover difference.
You know what I don't want the Hall of Fame to do, which it looks like it's going in that direction. I don't want them to dilute the Hall of Fame. You know, where you start putting in people just because you have to meet a quota, right? Because then it makes it, you know.
But boy, has this
like,
offense put it all together
even if there's years where it's only going to be like 2, instead of every year you got to put in 6. Like, I don't want to.
Defense in a lot of different ways.
I'm not a real big fan of that.
Again, it's as is the case for all these teams in the AFC that have these quarterbacks. It starts with
Bryce
how
Pop
do we stop this guy?
was
but
nice.
Again, when,
but what time we had him, yeah, he was solid too. He was definitely solid.
Football League. When you do have Cook, who could break big plays, and the running prowess of Allen, and just the ability to just find those matchups wherever they are, it really puts a lot of stress on a defense. And the biggest stat of all, they just don't give the ball away.
Yeah, Qual said, yeah, man, I get it, man. Hall of Fame can't just be anyone in there.
Ridiculous number.
Yeah, the turnover differential best that we've seen in the NFL in over a decade from Buffalo this year. Trubisky firing to the end zone, looking for Coleman.
Yo, Coleman, what happened, big fella?
By Isaiah Bolden.
That's normally
some more run today on the back end of that Patriots defense.
Hold on, let me see that again. That's normally the catches he makes.
Not only do they not
give
the ball away, and they're incredibly efficient, it hasn't affected their explosiveness in their big plays, but they don't take sacks either. Combination of this offensive line, but also with Allen's unique ability to avoid these sacks it's been an impressive offense to watch.
Well, you don't see teams punt very often from this part of the field from the 35-yard line. Would have been about a 53-yard field goal, but instead Sean McDermott is going to call off the dogs and punt it away here with Sam Martin. And
got it.
This is going to take. Let's see where they're going to mark the football.
Good job.
So Buffalo was able to dig it out before it got into the end zone, and they are indeed going to mark it in.
Yo, Alex says, what does it mean to be a Pro Bowl alternate? So a Pro Bowl alternate is if a player that was supposed to go to the Pro Bowl ends up not going, then whoever is in that pecking order are all alternates, right? So if you're not like a Pro Bowl, I guess the top players in the Pro Bowl, like the top guys, like the starters or maybe even the backups, then you're the alternate. So that's pretty much how that works. But the Pro Bowl is what it is, man. I mean, it's like it's a popularity contest. Like, for example, Christian Benford, I think, the fact that he didn't make the Pro Bowl was like, it's questionable. But if he doesn't make an All-Pro, now it's like, wait a minute, who's really, really, doing these votes? Because I think he's been an All-Pro type corner. Now, first team All-Pro, okay, he's probably not first team, but he's at least second team in my opinion. James Cook not making Pro Bowl. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You put a Joe Mixon in there, like, what? Now, again, it is what it is, though. Let's see what we got. Tony's like, I guess the way that the Pats, I guess they want, yep, they definitely want the Pats to win to get the number 1 pick, for sure. Let me see here. Buffalo Buddha, Keon needs to practice his separation in the offseason. Facts. Yeah, Eric says, yeah, man, the Pro Bowl is biased against Buffalo since forever. What up, Michelle? Yeah, man. Ingram showing flashes. He really is. I mean, Ingram's really, he hasn't been a liability for us.
We take out Jamarcus
for
Ingram
sure.
for a nice dinner. We're following the Buffalo Bills.
I'm a fan of Ingram.
Is that all he gets is a dinner?
Maybe a little cash prize. With Jay Skursky.
I mean, Sam Martin has low-key been solid for us this year. I'll definitely say that for sure.
Grinding all season with their team. All over some of these end-of-season bonuses and neat little stories with their teams. Boy, nice little slip of the tackle. Gibson still churning out yardage. Able to run his way out of bounds along the far sideline. Slip of the tackle. Bishop had a shot. So Arch Gerard Mayo, a month ago it seemed like Mayo was safe, and he still may be safe, but some of that outside conversation.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Will he get a year?
A punter incentive.
Here, which,
I missed it.
Earlier in the season seemed crazy.
The hell?
Now that conversation is heated
what they
up
say?
A little bit.
Yeah, listen, it's not a great situation to be in.
What's the incentive? I missed it.
Again, you knew it was going to be a tough season, and with a first-time coach who's one of the younger coaches who doesn't have a lot of coaching experience.
That's a turnover, and Buffalo falls on the football. Solomon wrapped it up as Gibson. And Buffalo's going to get it with a short field. Arch, look, if you're making a defense of Mayo as we take another look at the fumble, this roster is as bare.
Oh, punts down inside the 20. Oh, he got $100K for that. Okay,
so
that's dope. That's what's up.
But, some of the game management things, some of the post game.
He needed one more inside the 20. Oh, that's dope. That's what's up.
The above
I like
are
it.
some of the things that have been involved in that conversation.
Yeah, listen, in terms of, there's a lot of things that you just threw out there, but in terms of the roster, they made a conscious decision that they were not going to really go out.
Is Mitch still in the game, or is Mike White? Yeah, Mitch is still in
They
there.
wanted to really understand
All right, Coleman.
what they
It's one-on-one up top.
on this year's football team.
Let's
so
try it
they can
again.
make better choices going into this year. And I don't think they really realize the deficiencies, what they really had on this roster. And, it really hurt them this year.
Yo, man, the one thing I noticed, and I tweeted this out just at halftime.
Spiro Arch made the point earlier in the game when he was
The
talking
Bills
about
without Josh Allen is arguably probably the worst team in football. Like,
key players. The Patriots
it's like, come on.
And when we questioned
You talking about most valuable.
season, certainly you guys remember that he said, well, we need to figure out who
Who would have thought that Josh Allen not playing, and I know you guys mentioned this, earlier in the chat, Josh Allen not playing is solidifying the reason why he should be the damn MVP. Like, this is unbelievable, man. We're pretty damn average without Josh Allen. And that's most teams without their starting quarterback, of course. But, man, the drop-off is insane. Lamar Jackson without, or the Ravens without Lamar Jackson.
That's the question that Bob and Jonathan Kraft have to answer.
Isn't that bad?
Finds a little window as they get a little closer down to the 2.
Yo, it's almost like they're not trying to score. Like, Mitch just went down right there.
In terms of the roster,
it's interesting.
The Texans.
They're like, yo, we really don't want to win this game.
In this free agency, you've got to get it right.
And I low-key respect it, because I low-key want the
one of the things
Patriots to win this
Belichick,
game.
And I've said this before,
I really do.
Talents
It'll be the most hilarious thing ever. Oh, James Cook. That's why he didn't go in. Let me get James Cook his touchdown. Let's go.
And I don't think there's many coaches, if any.
Yo, here it is. James Cook about to break the record. Come on, James.
I mean, this is a player-driven league, and you need to be able to identify, draft, acquire, and develop great players. That's going to be what's going to make Gerard Mayo successful.
The only thing that's hurting James Cook this game is his yards per carry, because they're forcing him so much that he's getting, short yardages over and over and over again. That's the only thing. Come on. Let's go, James.
O.J. Simpson holds it.
Hey. Hey.
Woo!
Go ahead, James. Yes, sir. Shot time. Let's roll.
He needs one more to set the all-time Bills record.
Yeah, really some great vision in the hole. He's got a free
Good
hitter.
stuff. Give me my damn. Listen, shout out to Mitch Trubisky. Shout out to Mitch Trubisky right there. That was dope. The fact that he knelt, because I was like, wait a minute, why are you going down right there? It was in order to give James Cook his damn touchdown. Shout out to that. Give me my damn points.
I need some broadcast incentives. As that point after is going to be wide to the right. So Buffalo's lead now 2. And we cross the 8-minute mark in this third quarter. Now, turnovers rearing their ugly head again for the Patriots. And then it is Cook.
Go ahead, Cook. That's what's up, man. Facts. Respect to Mitch. Because I was confused for a second. And now it all makes sense. I love it. Yeah, Chauncey says, for real, man, I gained so much more respect from McDermott there. Facts, man. McDermott's like, look, man, you guys want your stuff? Here, get it. Get it. Love it. Wait a minute. Bucks really about to not make the playoffs and not give Evans 1,000? What? For real? Oh, wait. So what? If the Bucks win, they're in? That would be insane. Who are they playing again? Like, weren't they playing the Titans? Hold on, let me see. Who the hell the Bucks playing? Oh, they're playing the Saints. I mean, it's still close. Yeah, Bass got to go, man. 2 great seasons, then washed. Bass is overrated. God, man. Fucking Bass. Buffalo Buddha. 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 2 receiving. Yo, shout out to James Cook. Shout out to James Cook. And again, what? Barely over 200 rushes and got all that. That's massive. That's massive. Koala says Bass or Norwood. Chill, Koala. Chill. Let James Cook get 17. I'm sure if we're in the same, in the same position that we were just in, I'm almost positive McDermott's going to let him out there and get his and break that record. That would be dope if James Cook, with all the running backs we were just talking about, James Cook be the one that breaks the record. That would be awesome.
They will have the top overall pick.
That would be awesome.
There are a number of teams nipping at their heels, keeping close tabs on this score. 16-14 Buffalo. Patriots are going to have possession out across the 20. Alex Erickson, whom they just activated from their practice squad. Saturday on CBS, more college hoops comes your way. San Diego State is going to head to the pit in Albuquerque to take on New Mexico. The road to the Final Four is on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
You're on that game, aren't you, Spiro?
I am. Always fun to head to the pit. Yeah. Be with Mr. Raftery next week. What are you going to be doing next Saturday?
I don't have anything to. Can I go?
Sure.
Do they
get you a little ticket?
Can I bring my dog?
Absolutely. Your dog?
Yeah.
I see what you did there. So 7:50 left in the quarter. Joe Milton, the rookie quarterback. And boy, he's picking up right where he left off, Arch. He hit Booty earlier for the touchdown, and that's been his favorite target, with Brandon Codrington on the tackle for Buffalo.
His accuracy has been pinpoint in this game. I mean, it's
Shell Allen with incentive, Martin, Cook, everybody getting a bonus money and breaking records. So all we need is Allen MVP and him get a ring. Sheesh. What a year this has been. And this has been a low-key type of season, too.
And so far, so good.
Yeah, flag. I'm about to say that's a flag. This has been a low-key season. And it's because this is arguably the best offense we've had ever.
Ineligible player downfield, number 7.
Ever.
Offense. 5-yard penalty.
And it wasn't a season that we expected to have the best offensive season ever.
This was the first week that Joe Milton got first team.
Lost everybody, ended up being the best ever. That's insane. Record-breaking season. Shout out to the damn Bills, man. Joe Brady, Josh Allen, James Cook, everybody. Shout out to the team, man. That's amazing. I was not expecting to have the best Bills season or the Bills offensive season ever. That's crazy. Oh, Dorian in the game. Okay.
And so again, I really think
shout out to that.
The upside of him. Of course, look, Drake May is
who would have
the
thought?
Here,
that's
so
crazy.
I don't think there's a quarterback controversy by any means, but it is.
Yeah, look, you take it with a grain of salt. He's going against second and third stringers from Buffalo, but
yeah, but
it could be
worse.
Got to
throw the ball accurately and to the right person.
Now, I'm just going to say they do have some good recent success here with 6th-round pick quarterbacks. As Milton trying to slip the sack, fires far side. Boy, had Booty, but Booty couldn't squeeze it there on the sideline.
Damn, man, Booty couldn't squeeze it. Damn, pause.
Another flag.
Sheesh.
Offside, jumping in the neutral zone, number 9.
Yo, man, DAG. Yo, Pete, how nervous would you be if we are playing? Yo, very nervous, big fella. very nervous.
Sean McDermott
I do not want to see them boys, man. I don't care what nobody say. Hell no. Nah. Listen, I'm going to be the biggest Broncos-Dolphins fan today, boy. What?
Has mellowed a little bit, has relaxed since his first year at the helm. And Sean,
I do not want to see them boys.
He acknowledged. You said, yes, 50 years old, life's changed a little bit. And boy, as he settled in, talked about his staff, all the weight, the pressure that they've taken off his plate. What a pass here from the rookie. As he drops one in to Baker. And for Javon Baker, Arch, his first catch of the season.
Who you hoping we take in the draft? I have no idea. I mean, having the 32nd overall pick, that's not going to be a pick that I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Only his fourth target of the year.
I'm not a big-time college guy. I normally watch my, my film and stuff like that. I watch the plays in the offseason, low-key.
Both he and Jalen Polk was the other New England draft pick at wide receiver, and both have really had any chance to make any impact here for the Patriots.
And Arch, this has been a big problem. They've got to figure out the wide receiver position. They haven't had much luck. Polk, disappointing first year. 37th overall pick in the draft. Just didn't give them much production.
Cassandra says anyone on defense. That's who the hell we draft.
They have to address, especially now that you've got your quarterback in May. You got to arm him
now,
with some weapons.
as far as what position we need, interior D-line. We got to find a damn Chris Jones type of guy. We got to. That's the only thing we're missing, in my opinion.
The numbers and really threaten a
or maybe safety, but the interior D-line is a much needed position. Like, we got to get a guy who can cause that pressure inside, because if we can, it opens everything up. So whoever the best interior D lineman is at pick 32 is who I'm going with.
Henry unavailable today due to injury, but over 66 catches on the season. And who has become Drake May's #1 weapon. Boy, it looked like Milton lost it, bobbled it, able to squeeze it somehow, and after all that,
Andreessen, shout out to Andreessen. Those open field tackles is, especially when you got a mobile guy, are extremely hard.
250 pounds. You've seen some really good pocket awareness. Almost loses the football, but he's got some really nice quick feet for a guy that size.
Yeah, Joe Milton having a good old time. You see that wide grin?
Oh, I thought he was short.
4 as a starter at Tennessee last year. Mentioned some of his numbers.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I thought he was short.
Campaign in what was his 6th year of college
I thought he was short.
Got an extra year due to COVID. As we'll get a timeout, it looks like here, with the clock stopped down now to 4:10 left in the quarter. Looks like we may get a challenge here.
Buffalo was challenging the spot on the previous play. Timeout.
All right, Sean McDermott throwing the challenge flag. Take another look and check on the spot. Calling the field as a first down for the Patriots.
Okay, nah. I can kind of see him get the first down too. Yes, sir, says interior D-line and a thumper linebacker for first downs and 3rd and short. I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of, Dorian. I think Dorian is that thumper, right? So I don't necessarily think we need linebacker. I mean, even if, with Milano I'm a fan of Andreessen. We got, we got Dorian. We got, Bernard. I think linebacker was straight, man. Tyler says, I say it don't matter who we're facing because we win in that Lombardi. So bring Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, Goff, Darnold, Hurts. It don't matter. Oh, yeah, my man Tyler in his bag right now. They step to us, and we going to step right back to them. Yo, go ahead, Tyler. Like, that's how you're supposed to fan, right? This is what I say we should always be on. Having fear of an opponent, it doesn't make sense. Having respect for an opponent, okay, of course, right? But having fear, nah. Because if you're the best, it don't matter who the hell. With that being said, A Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. They never rank how hard your run was. All they rank or all they talk about is how many you got. So the easier the damn route, I'm fine with taking that. Just get us the bowl. Because I've never heard a damn team, well, that Super Bowl doesn't necessarily count because you didn't really play anybody in the playoffs. No, all playoffs teams are good. But I'd rather play the lesser of the teams. That's me. That's just how I look at it. Eric says, yo, watch McDermott finally win a damn challenge in a meaningless game. Imagine that.
First down run by Joe Milton. Fresh set of downs. 4:10 left in the quarter. And the Patriots playing 2 points in the hole. Milton 15 of 17, $164, looking for more with his legs. And he's going to inch now inside of that 40-yard line to pick up a 4. Well, it's time for Slime. Catch one of next weekend's NFL wildcard games live from Bikini Bottom on Nickelodeon. See every play the Nickelodeon way. You know what Bikini Bottom is, Arch?
You put me, well, yes, but no.
It's not a trick question. It's where SpongeBob lives, I'm told.
Hey!
Near side of the field, what a catch.
Very nice.
Jeez. Yo, Milton's balling.
The needle. What a pass from the rookie, and Archie continues to impress.
Yes, his ball placement and his accuracy has been excellent. You saw it earlier rolling to his right. This time rolling to his left, and even takes a little shot right there from Solomon, but really
Milton
impressive.
is balling.
Now, we asked Drake May about Joe Milton, and Drake's eyes lit up. You know, those two are really close. They've developed a bond as Milton completes to Booty near side of the field. And we talked about the bond between Josh Allen and Trubisky. There's something similar between May and Milton, two guys that have known each other now for a couple of years, going back to their collegiate days. Both went to the Manning Academy.
Head Colors TV. Dude, is Milton nice like that? Yo, Milton's balling right now. Okay, Milton. Go ahead, man. Go ahead and win this game for y'all. Go ahead and win the game.
Look at Milton's line.
17 for 19, 183.
Rushing touchdown, a passing
Sheesh.
touchdown.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead and win this game, big fella.
Is that the way you talk about me to other people, Spiro?
On occasion.
Yeah.
There you go.
2nd and 6. Milton
Holder.
flushed out of the pocket, directing and completes. There's a flag thrown right around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
Bob Douglas with the catch. Could be a
Sheesh.
potential hold here against Caden Wallace, who's been inserted now.
Holding, number 70 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Wallace Arch is another kid who Gerard Mayo and this coaching staff wants
Eric.
to get a look at.
Okay, so
Third
even
round
if
pick
we
out of
win,
Penn State.
Milton is about to fool the Pats into not selecting the quarterback. Yeah, no, they're not getting quarterback. I mean, because again,
as soon as Milton gets outside
they can sell
the
themselves
pocket,
on Milton or May,
you get
right?
a
I mean, May is supposed to be the guy,
by Casey Toolhill, the defensive
right?
end.
So I don't see
Just
them
that
drafting a
little
quarterback at
grab,
all. If they
and
do, that'll be
that's what they call
surprising.
for the holding,
Surprising.
but
But yeah, no,
they need
you're
some
definitely
help
right
on the
though.
offensive
He's
line.
definitely,
It's-
duping them
it's
into
the
believing,
number one
dog,
thing, in my
I can
opinion,
be the guy, low
that this
key.
football team has to address. They have two rookies, Layden Robinson one, and Jacobs, or excuse me, not Jacobs, but Wallace being the other one.
Milton to the end zone. Jennings, and they say incomplete. Boy, Jennings making an incredible effort for the football. Cole Bishop was the man on the coverage.
Jeez.
Oh, that would have been incredible. But again, this is what Milton does, Arch, with his legs, able to buy time to get Jennings into the spot in that near corner.
He didn't survive the ground. What a play by Bishop. And that ball placement was pretty darn good. I mean, everything about that play was excellent. The throw, the almost catch, and the coverage, but he just could not secure that on his way to the ground.
I do like that Bishop is getting
was a
some
fun
playing
play.
time, man, because we got to get his ass right, man.
So timeout
We got to see
taken by
if we can
New
figure that,
England with 1:47 left in the
if he can be
quarter,
able to
back at
figure
30
that
seconds
out.
after this
Yeah,
from Progressive
Bishop, man.
Insurance.
Exactly. We need to see who we got in that dude, man.
It's okay. You got it. Just stick with it.
Mm-hmm. They just keep coming.
Okay, let's try something else. Yeah? McCoy, you're in.
These Pats really don't want the #1 pick.
Final 147 of the third.
I don't want them to get it either.
Joe Milton at the controls of this.
Yay. All right, let's go.
Patriots offense. There's Gerard Mayo pacing on that Patriots sideline. Milton 17-20 has 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground, 183 yards.
Oh.
As he came on in relief of Drake May early in this game. 3rd and 16 here with the ball at the 29.
And you really haven't seen Milton make any mistakes or bad decisions.
Guy playing loose, playing free. Everything you want to see from a guy who's been running your scout team all season. Hooper on the catch. So they'll get a chunk of it there. Line to gain is inside the 25. Let's see what they do here. Looks like they're going to attempt a field goal with Joey Sly with 90 seconds left in the quarter.
Cassandra says, so who do you want to play in the Super Bowl? Because we're going.
With Bass. That's why this is a 2-point game.
A solid question.
And now this kick from Sly can put the Patriots back in
I
front.
want to play
Joey
interesting.
Sly
That's a good-ass question, Cassandra. Because you can make a case for the Lions. That would be a good game. Right? The Vikings.
Excellent from distance, and the kick from Sly.
I mean, the Vikings, the storyline with that, you know, the only other team to lose 4 Super Bowls. I mean, that would be interesting.
It's going to be interesting down the stretch.
The Eagles. But to be honest, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think if we make it, we winning. Or when we make it, we winning. For sure. Yeah, Daniel says Lions. Lions. Vikings. Yeesh. Hey, chat, hold on real fast. Yeah, Mike says, not Philly. NFC East is our curse. That might be why. That might be why. I mean, that's probably the only team we didn't lose in the damn Super Bowl. Like, leave, man. Shit. Hell yeah, the NFC East, dogs. We lost to the Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys twice. Insane. Insane. Yo, Terrence said Pierre left like the feds were at the door. No, hold on. You hear some noise, you're like, wait, hold on. Give me a second. Fred, man, I almost got run off the road by a Lions fan last time we beat them. What they gonna do to me if we beat them in the Super Bowl? Ooh, we gonna run them over, right, fella? You gonna run them over? Yeah, I don't want the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles will probably be our worst matchup, if anything, only because they're a big-time running team, and our rush defense isn't necessarily the best. So, yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that. That'll probably be the hardest of all of the, teams that we'll face for sure. But Michelle says, nah, man, we got to run that back with Philly. Joe Brady first game as OC versus Philly, and the way that we lost, what a game that was, man. Frustrating game, but what a game that was for sure. Ooh, Cody says, nah, man, give me the Rams again.
That's a big briefcase with a lot of cash. I'd have to think about that.
But to be honest with you, man,
some brave young souls. Temperatures hovering down below the 30-degree mark.
Next week, yo,
good to be
Yo, playoff football hits different.
Kick through the end zone.
You know, playoff live reactions just hit different. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I cannot wait till next week. Make sure you guys tune in next week for sure. You're not going to want to miss a movie.
To get his first snaps at quarterback. But just signed to the 53 this week from the practice squad. They also, Arch, gave him a one-year deal, so they signed him through next year. Obviously feel real good about him. He's been a vibrant, valuable piece in their quarterback room with Trubisky and Allen. Handoff here to Ray Davis. There's a flag thrown with Davis running straight over center.
All right, Mike White. Let's see what we got.
For the Patriots. Here's Allen Eck.
Illegal shift, offense, number 1 and number 0 in motion. Both did not 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
You know, the interesting part of the timing of that Mike White signing, it also allows
Radar says, yo, I need a shot.
White as their number
I need a shot.
Quarterback in
Let's
the
roll.
playoffs.
Golly.
Bid, of course, for Buffalo.
Mike White, show me something, big fella.
Just trying to get everything solidified in terms of the roster here as they start to look ahead to next week.
Yeah, remember, Mike White had some great moments. Remember back in 2022 with the Jets, it looked like he was going to be the next best thing. Just some incredible games.
Davis taking on tacklers. And that should take us likely to the end of the quarter. So White, as Arch just alluded to, first 2 years as a Jet, had a couple of memorable runs. It's a 1-2 starting stretch. His rookie
Yo,
year,
Hollins need his money.
1-3 in a
What does he have to
four-year
get to get
starting
his incentive?
before he made 6 appearances last season as a member of the Miami Dolphins. He'll have 1 quarter to show what he can do for this Buffalo offense. As we get our way to the end of the third quarter.
Hercules. I'm just telling my wife that the intensity level is going to be incredible. Yeah, the intensity. Yo, it's a different beast. It's a different animal. You know, playoff football. Oh wow. Okay, so he needs 70 yards for 500,000. Oh snap! Where's he at right now? Where's he at right now? Oh yeah, he definitely needs his damn. Where's he at? At 25 yards? Yeah, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. You know, Mitch definitely screwed his ass. Yeah, man, James Cook has 2.8 yards a carry. That's the only negative that happened to him today, is that his yards per carry average went down just because they were trying to force feed his ass to get that damn record. What else is going on here? Yeah, bro. It's not going to happen. I know Brandon Bean's like, yo, man, y'all guys are killing me with the damn Senate, man. Chill. Sit them all, coach. Sit them all. You messing up my damn cap. Golly, man. Adventures with Smiles. Yo, love the name. You know, one of the most important players we need to lock in for the playoffs is Tyler Bass. I'm nervous it could come down to a field goal. Lock in Bass. For sure, man. He needs to lock in. He needs to lock in. Donnie, whoever grabs that running back from Boise State, that guy is going to be a top running back in the league. He just came short of breaking Barry Sanders' record. Yo, he's going to be a solid-ass back. A solid-ass back. Mario says, yo, man, when does the playoff schedule come out? I think tonight. Or I think once we figure, because I think the NFC is already set. Yes, you know, there's some seedings that they have to, you know, adjust, but the actual teams that are in are in. You know, now it's just, are you the 5th seed or the 6th seed or blah, 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 right? But in the AFC, it comes down to that Broncos and Dolphins game. If the Broncos win, they're in. If the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, then the Dolphins are in. And if they both lose, then the Bengals are in, right? So it's definitely going to be a very interesting 4 o'clock games, that's for sure. I don't know why they announce, the Pro Bowl selections before the end of the season. It has zero value doing it early. Cook should be in the Pro Bowl. I agree with that too.
Have to assume right now.
Like if it's a regular season award or if it's a regular season thing, then why wouldn't you wait until after the regular season to make your selections? But it is what it is.
Somebody is able to knock them off. That's somebody you're going to have to deal with. And just the combination of Mahomes and Reed and the way the defense plays.
Yeah, Hollins is mad as hell right now. He's like, come on, give it to me.
Everybody in the AFC has to slay.
Okay, 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern time is when we'll know exactly what the hell's going down.
Remember that one trip
that
to
makes
the
sense.
AFC Championship game, but they haven't had the success. Those losses to Kansas City in 3 of the last 4 postseasons, and if they're going to get there this year,
My man Hawk Music says, yo, just,
they will likely have to go to Kansas City.
Just want to say whoever trying to clown on Rico and Bot the other day was wrong. BF the best. Yo, that was the whole.
Is this the Buffalo team that is finally able to answer that bell?
Let's go.
3rd and 17, they get it to
Yeah, that thing was
Samuel.
whack. That was whack.
Lineup, as he gets himself physically
But it is
right
what it is, man.
as they gear up for their playoff bid. They
Everything
pick up
happens for a reason, man. Karma is what it is.
Sean McDermott's gonna
Those who feel the need to bash other people just cause is the weirdest flex in our society, right? Like there's no need for it. But people need to do it in order to be able to justify, why they move and why they act how they act. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We just do our thing and whatever happens after that happens. Good job. Good job, Ingram. Yo, Ingram's been solid on special teams. Okay.
As they hold Erickson.
Yeah, man. I'm not too worried about all that drama that happened. It is what it is. Exactly, man. It's all insecurities, man. I'm a big fan of karma. Good karma and bad karma. For those that's like, wait a minute, there's no such thing of good karma. Yeah, there is. Look it up. I'm big on that. Massive on that. If you move suspect, expect something to happen. Bad to happen. Expect it. It's coming. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. If you move suspect, bad karma's going to get you. For sure. Right? If you move the right way, there's no such thing as bad karma coming back to you. Right? Because you're not doing anything to bring karma or to bring that bad karma to you. So go ahead, man. You move suspect. Hey, it is what it is. It's not on me to sit there and try to judge and try to, go back and forth. Listen, you move how you want to move, and then whatever happens, happens after that. We've been doing this thing for a very, very long time. When I created, Buffalo Fanatics, back in 2013, it was definitely, an experience in the early days that was just, it was hard, man. It was hard out here for a pimp, back in them days, man. But we stayed consistent and we try to keep as much, good karma as possible all throughout these last 12 years. And, what's happening right now, it's much appreciated. Right. But of course, whenever you build yourself up to a certain level, there's going to be people that's going to hate on that. And, you just got to expect it. It is what it is. Right. But hey, man, we good on this side. So that's all I'm at. Let's see. Eric says, Pierre, if we lose in the wild card game, nah. I'm sorry, big fella. I'm not reading that one, big fella. I ain't reading that one. I ain't read that one. I don't want to get no type of bad juju whatsoever at all. But I did read it overall, and yeah, it's in my opinion, it's Super Bowl or bust for McDermott. We have to at least make it in order for him not to be on the hot seat. If we don't make it, then he's definitely on the hot seat for sure. Yeah, Michelle said, yeah, man, I've been rocking with y'all for years. Yo, man, huge shout out to you, big fella. Huge shout out to you, man. I definitely appreciate that. Brew Crew says, yeah, man. Yo, man, been here since P was doing live in the break room in the park. Yo, facts, dog. Grinding. You already know, Brew. Grinding. That's crazy. I remember them days, too. I worked the night shift for a good about 6 years, so you can already imagine. I had time on top of time back in them days. Sheesh. That's crazy. Yo, Cassandra said, yeah, man, trying to get this money for the rent. Facts. Yeah, it's definitely envy, man. It is what it is. You know, what's whack? What's whack? You, Rev, Rico, Z-Bot, you know, don't deserve to be paid for your time. Are we not entertained? For sure, man. It is what it is, though, man. I never really. You see, the thing about being in the content creation game is that you have to have thick skin. You have to have a mindset of you know, what the comments bring. If you look at the comments as like a make or break, you know, you'll go high and low based off what the comments say. Right?
And so even a guy like
And
Flores, who had
I'm
great
extremely
success
big on
here
that.
as a coach and a coordinator, and then
You
was a
can't
head
get
coach
too
for the
high on a
Miami
comment,
Dolphins,
and you
being
can't get too low,
exposed to
right?
other
Or
ideas and
the reason
coaches.
why you can't get too high on a comment is because when the bad comment comes, you're going to get too low on the bad one, right? Just leave that thing even keeled and keep it moving. As long as you're doing what you're doing, you know, for the right reasons, it'll all work out exactly how it's supposed to work out. You know, but if you're doing things with bad intentions, the jig will eventually show.
It's also the questions about the staff.
You know what I mean?
You know, DeMarcus Covington has taken some lumps as a defensive coordinator. You know,
Let me
with
see.
where this defense has fit. Will there be
So that's how-
staff changes?
that's
if
how I look
indeed
at it.
Mayo
We're
is
good.
still here next year.
The most important
Koala said, yeah, man, I've been here since
part of coach
2018.
is who do
Yo,
you
shout
in
out to
fact
you,
hire
man.
as your staff.
Shout out to you.
That is by far the most important, and you know that's something that he's going to have to figure out right now. Patriots.
Yo,
fans
what's
are
wild though?
very
So when I
happy
created
about
it
what's
back in
happening right now, 'cause I guarantee-
2013,
and even quite honestly, I know
what it
players
was,
could care
and the
less
reason
than
why
his coaches.
I created the Buffalo
And
Fanatics
as an organization,
was because, all right,
you in this draft
so
of the
in
number one
2013, our
pick,
GM
you
was
already have
Buddy
your
Nix.
quarterback and all the different
And you
roster
know
holes and everything
that
you need
you know, prior to the draft,
much more important
they had this
than finishing here and
you know, for
being
those that are
Super
wondering, you know,
Bowls
when the
and
Buffalo
what's
Fans was created, by the way.
kind of
Here's
a
the story.
preseason type game.
So
Over the middle, this is Booty. That's going to get him over 100 yards.
you know how
For the football
there's
team.
always that draft luncheon like a week before the
So it'll
draft,
be a first down
right?
with Milton dealing
And
now for this New England offense.
and those that know,
First
you know,
time
Buddy
a
Nix,
Patriots player has 100 receiving yards in
he always
15
seemed to
games.
he always
long
seemed to
time
give
coming, and it's Booty over the
major
middle.
nuggets every time he talked to the media.
He played
Right? He wasn't one of those that kind of gave you the,
pretty well the
you know,
last time
cliche answers.
he played against this team.
So,
5 catches,
you know, prior to the
95
draft,
yards,
they were
which was,
asking
until this game, his best game
they were
of the season.
asking Buddy Nix about all the quarterbacks,
Looks
right?
like Booty's shaking up
About
now. Take a closer look at him now down on that Patriots
who was Doug
sideline.
Marone's guy? Golly,
Handoff here.
the guy from Syracuse. You know, Geno Smith.
To the 10-yard
You know,
line.
Matt
Starts
Barkley.
running out.
They asked Buddy Nix about all those quarterbacks. And for all those quarterbacks, he had nothing bad to say about any of them. It was all good things, right? And then he was asked about E.J. Manuel.
And run it up the middle again.
And he made sure to point out the negative things that what E.J. Manuel brought to the table. And to me, that was a red flag. I was like, wait, whoa. Wait a minute. Why would he point out the negative in EJ and not in anyone else? So then I really wanted to have a place to be able to talk about that, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a Facebook group
I don't believe any
and call it Bills Fanatics.
in the area. And one of the few times,
And I made my first video was predicting that the Bills were going to draft EJ Manuel based off of what Buddy Nick said in that presser. And the Buffalo Fanatics been born ever since. It was an amazing time back in them days. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? And there's been fans in here that's been rocking with us since then. But yeah, man, that was a wild time. Wild time.
Patriots were in. If they lost that game, they would have had the first overall pick. They end up scoring at the
Yeah,
end.
it used to be the Bills Fanatics.
Smith, your old coach, went
Right, so listen, the reason why we had to change the name, because the Bills themselves hit us up. Like after we started to gain some traction, the Bills themselves hit us up and was like, yeah, man, you got to take out the name. So we had to change our name because of the Bills.
Milton fires to the end zone, and it is caught. Douglas for the touchdown. Now we'll see if it's coming back.
It's coming back, but what a highlight play.
What a highlight play for sure.
Milton. It just fires a laser.
Holding, number 70 offense. 10-yard penalty.
Wow, insane.
I don't think Patriots fans will ever feel better about a penalty than they do about that one.
This is the best, best
Yeah. Yo, so yeah. And that's a big thing too.
A lot of impressive.
You know, when Ralph Wilson died, I believe that same year or like the same, you know, within like a few months, you know, Jim Kelly was diagnosed with cancer. And when those two things happened, it seemed like there was many fans that started to flock to these, you know, Facebook groups and these brands. So, yeah, I mean, the brand definitely blew up when that happened for sure.
Joe Milton is showing people in a live game that
Eric said, yeah, man, the guy that bashed on Bod and Rico is so whack. I love all Bills channels. I don't want Bills content creators to be like Dolphins creators. You know, we here for one goal, the Bills to get the Super Bowl. Facts, man. It is what it is. It is what it is.
All right, so replay assist apparently was gone to there. And so it is ruled incomplete. And now Joe Milton is going to give way to the field goal unit with Joe Sly as the Patriots try to extend this to a 4-point lead. This will be a 42-yard attempt. Told you about Sly's leg. Joe Cardona is the snapper. Bryce Behringer, the holder. And Joey Sly from 42 yards out. And the Patriots lead is 4.
I like it.
8:53 left.
I like it.
An interesting finish.
I like it. Dog, come on. Come on. I know Patriots fans are sick right now. They are sick. Like, dog, we really about to win this game? Oh, hell nah. Alton has been rocking with us for a long time. That's my man, Alton Valenzuela. My man Alton's big time. Yeah, man, what's up with that guy? You should have seen the comment section. People were bashing all the Bills channels but his. Yeah, man, it is what it is. Yeah, Bruce says lots of content creators got their start from your channel. Hey, again, and there's a lot of great ones too. A lot of great ones, right? I think, you know, when I first started Bills Fanatics, I think it was really maybe like, you know, 2 or 3, you know, Facebook groups or just brands in general back then, right? So a lot of people came through Buffalo Fanatics. You know, they had their, you know, they want to do their own thing, right? And you can't hate for people to want to do their own thing. And it is what it is. But a lot of people came through, you know, BF for sure. And huge shout out to them. You know, even though, you know, there's been a few that left on bad terms, they didn't feel like, they wanted to, do certain things or they weren't fans on how, we were doing things. But I'll always give a huge shout out to everyone who came through these doors, right? Because you guys helped us get to where we're at, right? But yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, Alton says, yeah, man, since day one, big fella, I still remember the live streams in the car. Facts. Yo, those were the times, man. Yo, the drought live streams, just imagine. Like, you guys see me now as like the big fan, the homer, as they say. Listen, I wasn't this way during the drought. Like, during the drought, I was like everybody else. Forget this team, right? But, man, we came a long way since then, for sure. Yeah, Isaiah says, yo, man, I remember trying to find Bill's page on Instagram back in late 2017, early 2018. Only BF was there, been following ever since. Yeah, man. Shout out to Bobby, who holds down, the Instagram. So pretty much, I created Bills Fanatics in 2013. Rico was one of the first, members of the group. I think he was like one of the first, 20 members way back in 2013. I brought him on the team in 2013. Bobby, I met him like a year later. He was holding it down on Instagram in 2014. So I said, you know what? Hey, I brought him on board, and we've been rocking ever since. And then Z-Bot joined us, I want to say, in 2018, 2019. He's been off and on in the very, very beginning, and then now he's been super, super consistent. Absolutely amazing. But, yeah, man, it's memories for sure. Sweat says, yeah, man, it's a great thing to have a team that you that can have so many different podcasts with awesome content, for sure. For sure, man. Let me see here. Yeah, Cody says, so what the F happened to Rev? Life. Shout out to Rev, man. Life's just kind of, he needed to take a break. He needed to lock in on a few things. He felt that, the content creation game was, taking him away of, certain, personal things that he had to take care of. And, he needed a break, man. So, shout out to Rev. I can't wait till he comes back. Fans were, big fans of him. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time.
Third and 7. Out of the backfield, it's Samuel. It'll be a first down for the Bills. Stays in bounds.
Let me see what else.
7:17 left. It's a pickup of 11.
Yeah, man. Respect to Rev, man. Respect to Rev. I kind of miss him low key, man. I ain't gonna lie. Right? I used to love his shows, man. He was one of those where, we used to go back and forth because how he acts now as a fan was how I used to act as, a fan in the drought years, right? But like he never got off that train, right? He's always the glass half empty, kind of fan, right? So, man, I used to love our little back and forth we used to have, for sure.
With 6:51 left.
Swervin says, yo, the best thing that happened to me was coming across this channel on YouTube. I will never miss watching the Bills with my boy Kingpin. Much love and respect, man. Yo, huge shout out to you, Swervin. Huge shout out to you, man. Listen, man, we've been doing this for a while. Now, I needed to find my niche, though, right? Because I'm not really like a live kind of guy. I'm not going to sit there and do a whole show and have a whole format. And that's why I give much, much respect to those that do it. Rico, Bot, Rev when he was doing it. Everyone who does the live shows on a, daily/weekly basis. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, you guys know I was trying to do that thing for years, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all this, man. So that's why I was able to find a way to, hop back on stream and do these live games, and I feel like, it's the perfect fit for me for sure. Yo, Alton says, wait, hold on. Let me put it back on. Let me see here. I still remember one of Rico's posts on Facebook. It was a clip of Jameis Winston on Hard Knocks, and he was studying film, and he started going off about how, Ty fraud would never do. Yeah, man. Yo, Rico wasn't a fan. He wasn't a fan of Tyrod.
Those will be the two at the end, Buffalo and Kansas City. Arch, what have you seen from this team? Is this team good enough? You talk about their defense. Good enough potentially to go to KC.
Yo, Cody says, yo, hey, P.
I do think
I don't know how familiar with Buffalo you are, but Mulligan's brick bar burned down this morning right next to the pink. Oh, snap. Which burned down a few months. Oh, snap. Sheesh. I mean, I lived in Buffalo for a good 7 years, so, I mean, I am familiar with Mulligan's for sure. Damn. That sucks, man.
Which team and quarterback is going to have more possessions in the game?
Mike White trying to go
yes,
back
sir.
Shoulder to Coleman, and it is incomplete. Miles
let's
Battle
see.
Playing a bigger role today with some of the injuries.
He said, man, those Saturday shows got me hyped. Shout out to Rev, man. Facts. Mike says, yo, man, I live alone, so I stream Bill's game on TV and Pierre on tablet. It makes me feel like I'm watching my friends and family. Yo, man, shout out to you, Mike. Shout out to you.
So good at fourth
yeah,
down.
Rev is a nice dude. We need him back for sure, man. Big fan of Rev.
The second best red zone team
Cassandra, yo, man, you do play-by-play well, though.
22 points off of 31
it's fun.
takeaways.
It's fun.
That's
I ain't gonna lie. You
#1
guys
in
make
the
it fun.
NFL. All that means is
Josh Allen and his team makes it fun. I ain't gonna lie.
keeping Mahomes or Jackson on the sideline, and that's what's going to help the Buffalo
Boy,
Bills.
on a fourth down,
Love it.
Buffalo is short. Boy, Patriots fans
are sick right now. Go ahead and win this game, my boy. Go ahead and win this game. Yo, Son says, yo, man, y'all awesome to have BF. I've been with you guys since 16. My wife is still amazed you talk to me. Yo, man, shout out to you and your wife, Sean. For sure, man. Shout out to you guys. Big fan. Koala. Did Tilt, Money, and Judge leave too? Yeah. They decided that, going to cover one was the better move. And, I mean, I respect that. I respect that.
With 5 and change left.
It is what it is. It is what it is. When I found your reactions, Kingpin, and then I thought, and then bot Rico and Dan Mitchell, I was like, thank God, I never have to listen to WGR again. Yo, man, huge shout out to Dan Mitchell too, man. He's over here, dog. You talk about a grinder. Dan Mitchell, shout out to him. A solo dolo army. I respect the hell out of Dan Mitchell, man. Right? Because what he does, I think, is harder than what most people do. Going every single day, constant, just hitting them. I love it. I love it, man. Alton said, yeah, man, whatever happened to Kevin Syracuse? Yo, man, shout out to Kevin, man. He actually got picked up by, Sports Illustrated Bills recently. But it's the same thing. There's certain people that have a certain vision as to what they want to bring to the table. And then once they get to a certain status, they feel like, going elsewhere is probably the best bet. And again, I can't hate on that. BF's not for everybody. Especially when you think you should be at a certain level. And we may think that you're not, necessarily there yet. You might think, hey, I want to try my luck somewhere else. And I've always respected that, man. But it is what it is. But huge shout out to Kevin, though, man. I saw his post about it last week, and I'm like, yo, my man came a long way, man. Definitely came a long way. But it is what it is. Head color said, yeah, Madan's a great guy. Yo, he plays the antagonist role so well. He practically takes all the arrows for Bills fans and content creators. Yo, I love how he plays the villain role. I love that, right? Because, I mean, every like villains, they play an amazing role. They really do, especially if you are consistent with that, for sure. For sure. I actually like his streams, you know, when he went over draft stuff. Yeah. As far as Kevin, for sure, man. You know, Kevin was brought on because he reached out after we had you remember when we had the that draft app? The app that we created for the draft. Yeah, you know, he was a big fan of that and actually, you know, to join the team after that. So yeah, huge shout out to him. You know, can you guys bring back a weekly film study show? I would love to. I would love to, man. I would definitely love to. Yeah, Cody's like, yo, man, why'd you stop the barbershop? I don't know.
Or, one of our
I really don't know.
Happy birthday to Charles. He's been
I
covering
mean, that has to come back. It definitely has to come back.
Years.
Because I'm a big fan of that show.
Charles actually also a New Year's baby, born on the 1st.
It's just a lot going on, man, you know?
Happy birthday to Mr. Hill.
Like life takes people in wild directions.
Incredible, talented crew members that is with us.
And my thing is, if you're not committed to a process, then, you know, there's no real need to, you know, give half-ass, you know, half-ass content. You know, if we're going to do it, we're trying to do it right. So if it's not being done right, then we might as well just go ahead and wait. So.
There's been some crazy games between these teams over the years.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah, Rico's like, yo, Cody, want it back? Exactly, right? It's like, I don't know, man. It definitely might be something to do, Rico, for sure. Yeah, you need to bring it back. Yeah, man, I respect it. I respect it.
Fair catch signaled, and Buffalo's going to get it at their 15-yard line, 39-yard punt. A reminder to keep it here.
You know, Bills fans on the Big Island gets lonely, but searching for Bills games in Hawaii. I saw you, Pierre, calling games. As my old ass got tech savvy, now Buffalo Fanatics is Ohio. Oh, yo, shout out to you from Hawaii, man. Sheesh.
Sure, we keep joking about this, but maybe the Bills don't want the Patriots to lose right here. Remember, their
Cook reaches 1,000. Yeah, yeah.
About Drake May.
He definitely reached it.
Can you get them to trade him out of the division?
Look, there's no doubt.
By the way, big fella, check the group chat.
Let me see.
As
though they play conservatively here, they're going to keep it on the ground. 4 and change left. A 4-point New England lead.
All right, so the group chat says from a tweet from Ari saying important perspective for Josh Allen's stats. Allen sat approximately 11 total quarters during the 2024 season, and he was able to rest for the remainder of several games. Josh Allen is who the hell he is.
In no hurry here. Mike White letting that play clock run down. It's poked and deflected at the line of scrimmage.
Rico's talking about, yo, we need you to dance. We need you for a dance-off at the beginning of our show. Cameo, special guest. Hey, you want me to dance up in that thing?
With the Patriots, there is not a single player on the bench that is not incredibly focused, that is not fighting as hard as he can to get a win. This is a team that just hasn't experienced that enough this year. So as much as we talk about fans and a front office, these players are playing to win.
Yeah, of course. And this is why.
But on a serious note, I'll continue to support BF to the end. A lot of cold memories on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. Keep up the great work. Yo, huge shout out to you all. I respect it.
That pass from White is incomplete. Del Pettis, good coverage.
Listen, if I'm a player on a 3-1 football team, I don't want my team drafting anybody. I don't want them drafting my replacement.
Yo, McDermott wants to win.
You know, you're playing for
He wants to be the all-time winning head coach in Buffalo.
You know, players don't want to hear any of this kind of talk. It's regardless of the circumstances, every game, maximum importance.
So if New England wins this game and they fall out of
Rico
the top
said, yeah, man,
spot,
smash that like for my boy P.
P
Money. Been holding it down for these live shows all year.
That's a pretty big difference on draft
Give him
night.
some love.
The #1 team holding all
Facts,
the
man.
cards.
Yo, smash that like. Remember, man, we're trying to get those 30,000 subs. So a subscription would definitely hit different. Good job. Good job, Patriots. Yo, they really about to win this game. Amazing. Amazing.
Buffalo's nemesis, as we've been talking about, have certainly been Pat Mahomes.
Yo, Head Color said, this is a weird ask. Maybe? But should we get a shot time for a Bills loss in this case? For sure. For sure. A Bills loss today is... I'm happy with a Bills loss today. You know, Patriots not getting that #1 pick. God, the Patriots fans are going to be sick.
Everyone we talk to, the confidence level, business like
Sick.
this week, everyone knows what's at stake, and the pressure is about to go from 0 to 100, Arch, for Josh Allen and this team this week.
Yeah, but, you know, especially after getting the chance to talk to Josh, I don't really think that he feels a lot of pressure. I think he's in a great place. He's really arrived. He has a complete game. You know, he's a legitimate, has reached legitimate.
And my wife is from Kansas, Pierre, so BF gives me some juice. Yo, okay, yeah. So you already up in enemy territory for sure, man.
Unnecessary pressure.
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that
one. To go head to head with a guy like Pat Mahomes.
It's crazy to think.
Yo, Kair, yo, man, your Kingpin, your playoff live up, yo.
Quarterback in the NFL for a number of years.
You know, love to the German and Italian Bills fans. Yeah, man, shout out to you guys. Yo, playoff football or playoff live reactions hit all the way different. So I mean, this was a dud today.
He's attacked every one of.
I'm probably not even going to have a highlight clip, to be honest with you.
In the offseason,
you know what I mean? This might be the first week where I don't post a damn highlight clip. It's pointless. But man, next week, it's definitely going to be a movie next week for sure.
You know, still being explosive, still ripping off the big arm, but being able to take.
I'm low key wanting this win for the Pats. Yo, me too. That's what I'm saying.
To play at the highest level.
I'm over here cheering for the Patriots more than I am for the Bills at this point.
MVP races really in recent NFL memory. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I mean, just consider what Saquon,
yo, Rico,
did
hey, Pierre,
Eagles
anybody look good today? Yo, to be honest with you, I haven't been watching the game. I'm just being real. I really haven't.
Aditi, you are one of 50 people that actually have an MVP vote. Can we put you on the spot?
Technically, you can. I'm not allowed to reveal my vote until the award winner is out.
Yo, Pat's really out here like big dubs. And Josh in the tunnel looking at them like, yo. Like he did. Oh, my God. They really out here. Oh, that's crazy. They really about to win this game, man. That is the highlight clip. Dog. Sheesh.
They're making their teammates better. They're playing at a level.
Cody said, fuck it. Let's take shots on first downs at this point. Golly. All right. So, yeah, you know what? Rico. I mean, chat. Who's been the players of the game? I got Solomon looked solid.
Aditi is really stressed over some of these.
You know, Sam Martin's been the MVP today. He's been solid for sure.
But we wish her the best, and in pretty neat company there. Great
to
see
Bishop
get recognized.
Yeah. It looks like he's getting better.
To whom much is given, much is expected, right, Aditi?
Who do you guys think?
It would be nice if Arch would give me a little help, though, instead of just disagreeing with everything I say.
He just likes seeing.
Yeah, Rico say, yeah, man, no need for a highlight video. Yo, we gonna dance it up regardless.
Yes.
Bring your ass.
As you're talking about Josh
Solomon.
Allen, his growth and his leadership, We see it.
Yeah, Coleman did have some nice catches. I would have loved to have,
we talked to him about this. He said that
you know, for him to make
in his life,
a couple others, but it is what it is.
The investment that Josh has taken in this team, the ownership, that just makes his job easier. And I think that that's a
Ingram. I'll say Ingram has been a solid player today for sure. You know, Jamarcus Ingram, big fan.
What a relationship, what a bond that has been between those two men. Hoping to finish some unfinished business with the NFL playoffs just around the corner.
Check-in time is 3.
It's 2:55.
I know.
Is this what he's doing now?
As your host.
Hey, chat, talk to me, chat. Yo, Donnie says, these drafts, man, you know, drafts should have, you know, 2 to 4 day one starters. Why every draft we have one starter? Who did we draft this year again? We got Coleman. We got Lil Wayne. Who else we got? Bishop. I mean, this was a dud draft. It was. I mean, I think Bean has done a solid job as far as just, you know, adding players, you know, to a roster. I think the main thing that I love about Brandon Bean, like his best attribute, is he doesn't lay on his hands. If he knows that we have a flaw at a certain position, he normally always tries to fix it. He's not married to certain players where, you know what, I drafted a guy, I'm going to try to see if it works. He's like, nope. Example. When he first came in, Josh Allen was raw. He was super raw. And he was like, okay, let's try to go out and get some big body wide receivers, you know, to help with the catch radius. You know, Josh Allen isn't that accurate. So maybe if we can get some guys who are, you know, big body guys, that might help. He traded for, you know, Kelvin Benjamin, which at the time I thought was a solid trade. And then I think we had an Andre Holmes. 2 big guys. All right, let's try this. Didn't work out, of course. Then he realized, wait a minute, it's not really about the big body guys. We got to get guys who can get open. The very next year, John Brown, Cole Beasley, boom, boom. Guys that can get open, right? Solid. And then after that, he realized, you know what, man? I mean, John Brown really isn't a number 1. There's something missing. We need a bona fide wide receiver. In comes Diggs. Boom. Like, I love that about Bean. You know what? We don't have a pass rush. We need a closer. Boom, Von Miller. Yeah, and I know the Von Miller thing is a little suspect here and there, right? The whole thing, it is what it is, right? But I like the mindset of him always, and then even before that, when Bean first came in, we didn't have an offensive line. It was atrocious. The very next year, we got Mitch Morris, like Deion. Yeah, so it was constantly him not sitting on his hands, and that's the best attribute I feel that Bean brings to the table. Huge fan of that. Huge fan. Hey, Eric says, yo, after this past offseason, Big Baller Bean knows he can take chances letting big names walk.
And we told you what's at stake.
Facts. I mean, when you got Josh Allen, you can take a lot of chances. And here's one other thing. We're reminiscing on the whole nostalgia of how the Buffalo Fanatics or Bills Fanatics started, right? And I don't want to toot my own horn, man, but it's like people really, really hating. Now, I was a huge fan of LeVar Ball and that whole entire movement. The Big Baller brand. I was massive on it, right? For those that don't know, and people going to sit there and hate and say, oh, no, whatever. Those that know, I was the creator of Big Baller Bean. Let's be real. Rico, you know. We were the ones who started that. And then it took off, right? But again, I ain't going to sit there. It is what it is, right? But those that know. We had merch that resembled the Big Baller brand, the Triple Bs, right? We posted that and got hate. Oh, that's copyright. That's fine, right? We just never really said. We were the ones that created that. Let's call a thing a thing. Those that know. Come on, we've been doing this for a long time, right? I was a big fan of the whole Big Baller brand movement, man. Loved it.
In the draft.
All right. Enough with patting myself on the back. It is what it is, man. I hate doing that. I really do hate doing that.
You mentioned what happened in Houston. I get it. There's great value in the number 1 pick. But everybody in Houston thought the sky was falling when they won that game, and they went from the first pick to the second pick.
Yo, man, I know Mac Hollins is sick right now. See?
So as much as you want to
Trey White was the one who made it popular because he basically took it and ran with it, right? But man, Big Baller Bean, I love that stuck for sure. It's just, we never get credit for it, but it is what it is. Who cares at the end of the day? Who cares? But yeah, man, that was kind of cool to, bring that up real quick. Oh, update the score. Oh, they scored? Damn.
And again, the good news for this franchise, at least New England, you've got your quarterback puzzle figured out. Hardest piece to the puzzle. And it looks like they've got their guy here. That pass deflected high in the air, and it's going to fall incomplete. Keon Coleman, the intended target. And Miles Battle making a couple of plays on the back end of that defense.
Yeah, Cassandra says, toot.
Nice game today.
Yo, I really hate doing that, to be honest with you.
Amari Cooper's not on the field.
That's why I never said anything for years. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm not going. Who cares?
The man-to-man situations and the one-on-one situations, I think the secondary's done a pretty good job. A definite rebound from what happened against the Chargers last week.
So on 4th down, Sean McDermott keeping his offense on the field. White hit on the release. It's going to fall incomplete.
Yo, the Patriots really won this game. Unbelievable.
No flags on the field, and the New England Patriots are going to take over on downs.
Wow. I know Patriots fans are
so Gerard Mayo pacing in front of that
sick
New England
right
sideline, 23-16. Gonna miss you. Had a great year.
My guy, man. You know what? If I had a Didi's vote, I would vote you MVP.
Thank you.
It's
one of the rare times you've said something nice to me. I appreciate it.
It's been a great season, and it's going to be. I'm going to wake up sad tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Said her first from you, and listen to all the different creators. Yo, again, shout out to all the creators out there, man. All the brands, all of them. And there's a lot of them. All of them.
Make it all possible
right?
For us each and every week.
Again.
So let's update the draft.
It's amazing to see.
Big talking point here.
It's amazing to see.
The next couple of days. New
wow.
England again.
Tennessee gets the first pick. Cleveland, Giants, New England. Wow.
This weekend, so
love it. I love it. Beautiful.
So they go from the number 1 overall pick now to that number 4 slot.
At least, if you're the Patriots, you don't need a quarterback.
That's true.
That is
That's true.
Big part of it.
That's true.
And where does this franchise go from here? Always a crazy Monday and the ensuing days and weeks for this Patriots
Adrian
franchise.
says, no Travis Hunter for you.
As they will
I mean, I don't know.
With a record of
I don't know.
13.
I mean, it still could be a possibility. I mean, Travis Hunter can still fall. Right? Because if you look at it, okay, hold on. Hold on.
Can Sean McDermott
Hold
take
on.
this team into the playoffs as their postseason bid will begin?
Hold on.
As they will finish.
Hold on. Let me see it again. All right. All right, right here. So, the Titans, I mean, you can make an argument they probably can get a quarterback. The Browns, definitely getting a quarterback. Right? So that's 2 right there. I know they rework Watson's, contract, so, they might be able to deal him away or something like that, right? But fine. Even if they don't, I don't see Hunter going there. I mean, he might. Giants definitely going quarterback. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, Travis could fall to 4. But anyways, Bills lose 23-16. I don't know why I got a smile on my face that the Bills lost the game. Nah. You guys know exactly why I'm smiling. But again, let's take a shot for that. A shot for the Patriots not getting number 1 overall pick. I'll tell you, I'll take it. Nah, but a huge shout out to the Bills season in the regular season. This was an amazing regular season. It was an amazing regular season. Huge shout out to all you guys who tuned in during the regular season. But I will tell you this. Next week is going to be a movie. So you got to tune in for that. So huge shout out to all you guys. 2024 season was solid. Now we got to kick off the new year with the damn Super Bowl. We got to do it. We definitely got to do it. So again, make sure you guys tune into the Rico and Bop post-game report. It should be interesting. There's going to be a lot of dancing going on. But huge shout out to all you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But on to next week. Remember, if the Broncos win, we're playing the Broncos next week. If the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, we're playing the Dolphins next week. If both of those teams lose, we're playing the Bengals next week. So go Broncos, right? You guys already know what's up. I'll see you guys next week. It's the Kingpin, and I'm out. Woo!